Back in 2002, head coach Sean Pratt dreamed of a winning record and capturing his first playoff berth. 3 years later, he has done just that. Tonight, it's a Week 10 warm-up with Frisco Centennial on their way to the first playoff game in school history next week in Carrollton. And it ought to be we're hoping what should be just a rollover tonight. McKinney North is obviously the favorite tonight over the Frisco Centennial Titans. And all things equal, McKinney North should roll tonight. However, there is one of those possibilities that McKinney North knows it's kind of a lay down too as well. So you always have to hope that they don't come out flat, which they have done at times, especially on the road.
Yeah, generally as a coach, and that's the big thing right there is the road problem. But this is not one of the typical road teams that they face. You know, we're not facing Hebron at their place, which is Frisco Centennial, one of the bottom dwellers in the district. But I'm going to tell you, Coach, if he sees a flat team the last game of the season before the playoff, which is supposed to be your tuner, and that's not going to make a coach happy. So you can bet that Coach Pratt's going to have his team ready to go in a situation like this. Now, there are going to be some naysayers out there who are going to say McKinney North is going to take a dive in this one so they have an easier playoff matchup. But, generally I can't even think of a circumstance where Coach is going to want to do that just to get ready for the playoffs. Hey, let's lose one. It just doesn't happen.
And knowing Coach Sean Pratt the way that I do, and I think everyone that knows Sean Pratt would know that absolutely is not a possibility, even though it is a little enticing to think of the matchup with Dallas Hillcrest a lot more than Woodrow Wilson. However, getting into the playoffs is very special, and just getting there by doing the right things makes it even more special. So a lot of possibilities in the playoff hunt are leaning on this game tonight, and also over in Fort Worth by the Texas Motor Speedway, where Justin Northwest is hosting Frisco. And as you'll remember last week, right over here at this same place, it was Coachman, the kicker for Frisco, who broke everybody in McKinney's heart with that 27-yard field goal, and that's what caused all of this disruption in 9-4A, with Frisco now back in the hunt along with Justin Northwest and McKinney. So the possibilities for McKinney to make the playoffs basically lie on McKinney North winning, Justin Northwest taking care of business over there at their own park, and McKinney, they're going to have to help themselves out by beating Lake Dallas. That's first things first for McKinney. So it's going to be, and we're going to keep you up to date all night on those scores as well as this one here.
Well, looking at the crosstown rivals of the North Bulldogs, you look at that game against Lake Dallas and you say, hey, simple roll over there. And not so fast. They started out really slow, did Lake Dallas, but they won their last 3 district games. So they're on a roll of themselves, and they actually have a small chance at getting in the playoffs too. And, boy, I mean, you just think about where that program's been these last couple of years. Lake Dallas, if they can get any kind of victory tonight and have their record at 4-3 within the district, that's saying something.
Well, you're talking about Lake Dallas. In order for them to get in, there's all kinds of scenarios, and you have to look at numbers and points and all kinds of things like that. If Lake Dallas were to get in the playoffs tonight, it would be because McKinney North and Lake Dallas both win, and Frisco has to lose by 6 or more points.
That's where you just look at these playoff races, and that's where things get interesting and fun. As we go, okay, now they win, but no, it's got to be by 6 or more, and then this one's got to be by 3, and it just makes high school is one of the more complicated things to figure out, and that's why we leave it to the people who know how to figure it out.
I had that same scenario my senior year in high school. In order to be district champions, we had to beat Bells by 5 points. And we won 12-7.
It's just so odd.
Crazy stuff. We're going to check down on the field now with Teddy Sappho, who has some information about the stadium and some other things. The weather, it's not as chilly as it was last week, is it, Teddy?
No, it's not. It was really cold last week, at least for me, at least. I really don't like the cold weather so much, but it's different now today. It's 74 degrees, and it's actually fairly windy right now, and the temperature is starting to drop a little bit. It was 74 when I checked in not so long ago, but it should probably drop into the high 64 this night is even over with. But, hey, just a little bit on McKinney North. Of course, since it's their first time making it into the playoffs this year, I talked to Coach Pratt about the team's composure because you guys did mention just not so long ago that they don't want to come out flat. That's what happened after the Crosstown Showdown. This team did come out flat. flat, and the result wasn't too pretty. But Eric Herbal, though, has been playing really well, you guys. The last 3 games, he's completed close to 70% of his passes. In fact, last week, he was 7 for 19 for 317 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the 2 completions came off of drop passes. So it shows you how well he's been playing. He's looked really well on the field in warm-ups as well. Also, to the defense, they have given up 37 more points in the last 3 games. And I talked to Coach Pratt about that, and he said, well, there were a few injuries on the defensive side. The defense side has been rather banged up. They haven't had all their players back, but he said they did have a good week in practice this week, and so he expects the defense to be fine as well. And he also said that playing against Centennial, even though they haven't played very well this whole year, Centennial, you guys, they've only lost 5 games by 11 points or less. In fact, they lost like Dallas last week by only 2 points, and their defense is fairly good. So Coach Pratt is concerned about that.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy. I think we have do you have a question for Teddy down there?
Yeah, Teddy, if it's you're facing a November weather, why are you not wearing a jacket?
It's not 55 degrees. That's the thing.
All right, Teddy.
Thanks a lot down there. We're going to take a quick time out. Be back in a moment. We'll have some more information about Frisco Centennial and your McKinney North Bulldogs in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Frisco Memorial Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Sappho and our super secret spotter insider guy just joining us up in the booth. Teddy, Brandon, let's talk a little bit about Frisco Centennial. They've had a lot of changes going through this year. Started out okay, but actually they really didn't start okay the very first time they touched the ball, or kicked it off rather. Jason Third, a 100-yard kickoff return on the opening kickoff for Mansfield Timberview, took it to the house, and that's how Frisco Centennial started their season.
Yeah, and the thing about that, too, is that Mansfield team is a relatively new team as well. That's a high school that's about 2, maybe 3 years old. And so you had 2 relatively equal in terms of youth high schools. And, boy, the Mansfield team just set it off. And anytime you start your season off with a 100-yard kickoff return against, oh, man. I mean, you think it's bad after you got some momentum back after tying the game or something. That pretty much just deflates the whole season.
Well, they started off with the quarterback Henry Williams from last year. You'll remember from this football game. Henry Williams played about 4 games and then disappeared. He's no longer on the team. He had 51 carries for 214 yards rushing on the season, and he also passed for 495 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was kind of the key around the offense, and all of a sudden he's gone. Now they're having to alternate with a couple of quarterbacks, young guys. Crosby Butler, the sophomore, he really came in and placed Henry Williams early. But the big story is the freshman. It's Ryan Masakowski who's come in, and he's absolutely played fantastic. 6'3", 180 pounds. He is 24 out of 52. Now, he's thrown 2 picks, 352 yards, but he also has a touchdown. However, it was a late touchdown to his favorite receiver, Brandon Harrison, in one of those late games. However, he's a big guy, he's a young kid, and they're going to grow their offense around him.
Yeah, a lot of times on professional ranks, you hear a young team as being a good team, but on the high school level, it doesn't always translate to the same thing. But here with Frisco Centennial, you can see they've got building blocks in place, and they have the ability to be a very good team later on down the line. The thing that's going to be dependent upon that's quarterback play, and that guy, Masakowski, he's a pedigreed quarterback. You can look at him, you're going to be able to tell almost right away that he's going to be a stud in this. And I don't know, whatever district they play in, once realignment comes, whatever, he's going to be a very big player.
Also, they have their favorite wide receiver for either quarterback, Brandon Harrison, 21 catches, 482 yards, and 4 touchdowns. If you look back in the backfield, you think, well, not much going on back there. They kind of alternate with 3 guys. Aaron Jones looks to get most of the carries tonight, we would think. Last week, 7 carries, only 12 yards. However, he was the leading ball carrier in last week's game. On the season, 41 carries, 153 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's a sophomore, one of the young ones back there. If you'll remember, if you watched the game against McKinney, Aaron Jones got the start, played most of the first couple of series, brought in LaRon Washington on the 3rd series, and he fumbled the very first time he got the football. Aaron Jones came right back in, and he's kind of been the go-to guy ever since.
Yeah, for as good as Masakowski is at quarterback in terms of potential, you really don't see that kind of, upward ability to improve from the running back. So if they're going to have a star running back in the future, it doesn't look like he's on the roster now. So this is just not an ability. You look at guys like Chase Barrett, he has bigger rushing games than these guys do have for season totals. So they're not as good. The quarterback play is really what's going to propel this. And also keep in mind at the same time that this is not a running team. This is a run-and-shoot offense, quarterback in the shotgun with 4 receivers at all times. So it's generally not going to be as heavily in the running stats, but you still, to run an effective run-and-shoot, you got to have the run part of the offense.
It is senior night here at Frisco Memorial Stadium, and the Frisco Centennial Titans will actually have their first graduating senior class this year, and some of the guys on the football field will participate in that. One of our McKinney North players that we're going to be talking about tonight, Teddy Sappho down there, is Ryan Burke, and I believe Teddy Sappho has some information, some big national information on Ryan Burke.
Yeah, of course, Ryan Burke. Well, first off, we'll start off with Ryan Masahowski. I was kind of interested about this quarterback because last night I was watching Bound for Glory. Of course, it's a TV show on ESPN where Dick Butkus and Ray Crockett, two former NFL players, and they decided to place a quarterback with a 14-year-old named E.J. Banks. And I was talking with Monty, but I was like, hey, isn't that kind of interesting? But, well, turns out that Frisco Centennial also has one of their own. In fact, his name is, of course, Ryan Masahowski. He's just turned 15 in August, and he's 6'3", 180. He's a big kid. And also, I see you were talking about Ryan Burke. Ryan Burke, ESPN voted him as actually the 4th best center in the nation, believe it or not, out of 100 kids. So that's incredible. And this guy, he's 6'3", 270, and actually standing next to him, he looks like he's more than a 6'3" guy. He looks like he's about 6'4". He's a big kid, real talented.
All right, thanks, Teddy. Good job, buddy.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy Sappho. Ryan Burke, McKinney must be very proud of their own Ryan Burke, the center who's nationally known now.
Well, when we talk about Chase Barrett's running game, and a lot of what he likes to do is go up the middle, and one of the reasons that makes that successful is the center not only has a good exchange with quarterback Eric Herbal, but at the same time gets his blocking. And speaking as on that, or rather not speaking as a center, but in favor of the center, that's not an easy thing to do, to get on your block and get the snap up. And we haven't seen any problems at all from Burke. He's really one of the best in the district, and that's one reason that allows Chase Barrett to run up the middle.
Talk about the best in the district, and if you're talking about passing, you're talking about Eric Herbal, 149 attempts, and he's completed 85 of them. That's a 57 percentage, and that is just outstanding. He has 13 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, but last week I think he really peaked. Was talking to Coach Sean Pratt about his play last week in that game, and I'm going to tell you, you can't get much better than 17 out of 19, no interceptions, 320 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's just outstanding for a high school kid. And his 2 incomplete passes, one of them were a drop. One of them was a drop.
The other one hit the receiver in the helmet. So it's a situation where he was on his game, and you stay peaked, and you hope it peaked to that point. You hope he still can, have upward momentum on into the playoffs, because, if you play a team like Wilson, you're going to need to be on your best. And you say it'd be a difficult game, and I say, it's the playoffs. That's what they're for. You play it out, and there are upsets all the time, and they're going to need a guy like Eric Herbal, and this is a perfect warm-up for that. Get you ready for the showdown whoever they play next week at Standard Stadium.
Well, looking at the scores by quarter, McKinney North, if you're going to do anything, it's going to happen in the first half. If you're a McKinney North fan, you realize that they actually don't do very well in the first quarter, even though they do well in the first half. First quarter, North is only scoring 37 points and actually being outscored by their opponents 50-37. However, in the second quarter is when McKinney North really starts dominating, 107 points, and they've given up 87. And then in the third quarter and fourth quarter, they kind of put it on cruise, outscoring their opponents 85-56 in the third and outscoring by a touchdown 54-47 in the fourth. So overall, outscoring their opponents 283-240, and that's a huge stat. 240 points giving up on the season. If you look back at last year and the years past for McKinney North, they have been nowhere close to that. In their opening year, 2002, they gave up 330 points. In 2003, they gave up 345. Last year, 345. And this year, 240. And that's the difference in this McKinney North team, is their defense and many of the points that they're not allowing as they had in years past.
And just to throw those numbers just a little bit more skewed is one game last year, the defense even pitched a shutout and still gave up that total. And that shutout actually happened to come against Centennial. And I can almost say that's not going to happen. Centennial is much more improved offensively just in terms of what they can do. And sooner or later, you'd think they'd get some sort of points on the board. But the big question is going to be how this defense of Centennial responds. They're not a bad defense. They're actually really improved from last year. But at the same time, North is and always has been an offensive power team. So, it's just going to see what gives first in this game.
Frisco Centennial is coached by Mark Howard. He has an overall record of 54-79. His record here at Frisco Centennial, 4-15. His career in coaching began in El Reno, Oklahoma, where they actually played for the state championship in his first year as an assistant coach there. He then moved on to be a head coach at Kingfisher, Oklahoma, and then got his first Texas taste of football in Brownwood, as he actually coached under Randy Allen over at Brownwood, now at Highland Park. He then moved on to McKinney, where he was a head coach there, and took an assistant job at Mesquite Poteet, then went to Brownfield as a head coach and ended up here. His hometown is Veneta, Oklahoma. He went to school at Central Missouri State, where he played football, but finished up at OSU. This is his 25th year of coaching.
Yeah, and he's got a pedigree behind him, but, starting a program from scratch is not easy because you don't have people in your system at a young age. You have to teach the system at all levels, and that's why you usually have struggles your first 4 to 5 years. And on the opposite side of that, so what also makes it just a bit more impressive about what Coach Pratt has done here at North is he's built this team up, and in their fourth year now, they're in the playoffs, and these guys here had to learn the system from scratch. It's not like they were introduced to it at a young age either.
And that's unbelievable, taking a team from basically nothing and bringing them up to the playoffs in 4 years. That's very impressive. And just think about it next year when Boyd opens. Right now, we're 10 months away. There's not a school. There's not a campus coordinator. There's not a principal. But 10 months from now, they're going to have a football team.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to think about that. But Sean Pratt, in beginning this program at McKinney North, has done a fabulous job. And I know he took some hard knocks the first 3 years, but you're going to do that when you're starting a new program. But in your fourth year, making the playoffs and having a winning record is just outstanding.
Yeah, you talk about taking hard knocks your first year. Ask Northwest, ask Centennial, ask Keller Central about that. And those are all programs that are relatively new within the district that have struggled, which has really allowed Hebron to take a hold as they have because they're more of established. But now those teams are getting better. North, the more predominant one, but Northwest has a chance to make the playoffs. So by and large, it's a relatively young district, but it's rapidly improving. I think you'll see the same thing in years to come.
Talking about Sean Pratt, he's 35 years old. If you know anything about Sean, he was an old Plano Wildcat. He was on that state championship team back in 1986. Went on at Texas Tech and then A&M Commerce, where he graduated. This is his fourth year. Varsity record is 15-23. He has wife Deanne, sons Colin, Cade, Annie. Got a brand new daughter not too long ago, Whitley. We are going to take a quick timeout here at Frisco Memorial Stadium. McKinney North Bulldogs and the Frisco Centennial Titans are coming up next on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Frisco Memorial Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Sappho. McKinney North bringing a fairly good crowd so far. Of course, we're still about 5, 6, 7 minutes away from kickoff, but people are still filing into here. But Frisco Centennial, they didn't bring anybody to McKinney. Looking over at their game, I was watching the game film this afternoon between McKinney and Frisco Centennial, and looked like they had absolutely 4 or 5 people in their stands on the far side.
Well, it's a byproduct of having a bad record, number one, and number two, being relatively new where there's not an established fan base within the city. For example, you go out to my area where I grew up out in Midland, you have a cleared line between Midland High and Midland Lee because those are established schools that have been there for a long time and have an established fan base within the city. You're either in High's district or you're in Lee's district, and that's who you root for, and it's actively rooting for. Here, you may be in Centennial's district, but, there's no connection to it yet. You may have, kids growing up who will be one day, but, there's really not much of a connection and no reason to come out, and that's one of the byproducts. Now, once they get an established alumni and things of that nature that breed, a closeness between the school and the students and the former students and all that then you'll start to see that kind of thing. But, yeah, you're right, just a sparse crowd here tonight.
But speaking of rivalries, right up Highway 75, an absolute classic tonight. It is the 100th anniversary, I guess, of the Battle of the Axe. They started that game in 1906. And I tell you what, normally between Sherman and Denison, I can tell you who would win that football game. Tonight, I have no idea. Both of them are a little down from years past. Sherman, obviously, they went to the state quarterfinal or semifinals last year, lost everybody, brought nobody back on offense, had 0 returning starters on offense, but have somehow held in there with their 5th-ranked defense in the area. Denison, just the opposite. They offensively have been able to be pretty potent this year with Stanley Morrison, their Michael Vick type quarterback, but can't stop anybody on defense. So it's just one of those games where I have no idea who will win that one, but it's just going to be an absolute classic at Sherman and Bearcat Stadium in that old 1941 stadium.
Can't say I haven't seen Sherman, but we did see Denison the first game of the year for North and during that first week out at MISD Stadium, and they were quite the offensive team, but North was able to match. Now, North does that to a lot of teams, so that's not any knock against Denison, but that's one of the better rivalries in all the state of Texas from the high school level. And, boy, if you have a chance just to go to one game and you're in that area, boy, there's no doubt which one you go to.
That's a very fun place to be. The last statement about the Battle of the Axe, my very first game there was at that Bearcat Stadium in 1994. Both teams came in there. I think they played week 8 that year. And Denison, I believe, came in 6-1, or maybe it was, I can't remember. I know that Denison came in 6-1, Sherman was 7-0.
Typical.
And both of them were ranked in the top 10 in the state of Texas, and it was an absolute classic. You could not see a blade of grass out on Highway 75. They had lawn chairs on the highway, on the shoulder of the highway, watching the football game. I mean, that's dedication right there.
No kidding. I'm sure at some point somebody had to step in to stop that.
Absolutely amazing. McKinney North is in their tunnel, and Frisco Centennial is coming out doing their warm-ups down in their own end zone. This stadium runs I guess it runs east and west, and McKinney North is in the west side of the end zone on the far side over there, inside their big tunnel. The captains are coming out to the middle of the field. Kirsten Williams is one, along with Ryan Burke, Justin Janow, and Blake Boblitz. For the Frisco Centennial Titans, it will be Brandon Wood, along with Matt Crook, who is a great defensive end. He plays a very great technique over there, and also Aaron Jones, their running back, will be the captains for Frisco Centennial tonight, and we'll see what Teddy Saffo has for them.
You're doing the talking? I want you to come a little closer. It's a little windy. Okay. McKinney North, you're the visiting team, so you're going to call the coin. We've got a silver dollar, heads, tails. Okay. I'm gonna toss it and let it hit the ground. Okay. I want you to call it before I toss it.
Tails.
What did he say?
Tails.
He did say tails. Okay. It is heads. So you've won the toss.
Deferred in the second half.
You want to defer? Excuse me. Excuse me.
So as you heard right there, Frisco Centennial won the toss. They have elected to defer. Thanks, Teddy Saffo, down on the sidelines, or at the midfield stripe, rather. And McKinney North now will face and turn to the east end zone. So they will be moving left to right starting this football game, and Frisco Centennial will be moving right to left. They shake hands, and now we'll go the opposite directions, and we'll see the teams come out. McKinney North comes out in their road white jerseys with their white pants this time, the Cleveland Brown type helmet with the blue stripe instead of the brown right down the middle. They do have those New York Jet type of stripes right over their shoulder pads like all the teams do now. They have the dark navy blue numbers, the block numbers outlined in that orange, and they are looking like they're pretty excited underneath that tunnel.
Well, and it's something that you got to watch out for if you're part of the North coaching staff, is the letdown factor. They're in the playoffs for the first time. This is a team they should beat, so they may be looking past them into the playoffs. But if you're seeing that atmosphere, the jumping down that you normally see, then that's generally a good sign that this team's right where they need to be.
And now we're waiting on the Frisco Centennial Titans as the Bulldogs come through their run through. And This is something you don't normally see. Both teams coming out at the exact same time. Normally it's one and then the other, but we have both of them coming out here. Frisco Centennial comes out in their scarlet red pants with their, they're called the Titans, so they kind of have the Tennessee Titan type tops with the long stripe over the top going down, and their white numerals on the sleeves, white numerals on their backs outlined. Well, it's a blue back with red over the shoulder pads. It's kind of a strange look, but they have the dark blue helmets as well.
Take the Titan uniform, match it with the Houston Texans color, and that's what you have here.
That's pretty close.
Exactly what it is.
That's pretty close. We are awaiting the national anthem, and while we're doing that, we'll take a quick time out on 97.5 K-Lake FM. And a beautiful rendition of our national anthem played there by the Frisco Centennial Titans marching band here on the near sideline. And the captains have come out. We've got the coin toss. Frisco Centennial won. They have deferred for the second half. McKinney North will take the ball first. And you would think that'd be a great idea for McKinney North to be able to get the football first. But however, as we talked about in the pregame, they don't do much with it in the first quarter, only scoring 37 points all year in the first quarter.
Well, and not only that, but Coach Pratt likes to save his option for the second half when they have a better idea of what they're going to do after making adjustments to what they've seen from the other side. So that's generally what he likes to do. So they could be at a small disadvantage by receiving here.
On the flip side, Frisco Centennial in the first quarter give up the most of any other quarter. They give up 62. So you'd think, you might want to get the ball first and try to score some points if you're not going to be able to stop anybody in the first quarter. However, they do make some adjustments because their third quarter actually is their best at stopping people. And you think that Mark Howard and company might be able to make some great adjustments at the half.
Well, the first quarter's North the worst offensively, and it's the worse for the Titans defensively, so something's got to give there, and the same holds true in the second half, just the opposite. And so you figure something's got to give.
Cameron Buford and Cameron Eubanks will step back at their own 2-yard line to receive this initial Beef O'Brady's kick. It will be Michael Lieba kicking off. Lieba on the season has 6 field goals, 35, 37, 33, 43, 24, and 27. Obviously, that 43 is his longest. He also has 15 extra points. He's going to tee it up here. The wind is really blowing down on the field, and it blew the initial ball right off the tee, and he had to go back and set it back up there. Michael Lieba now takes a couple of steps. He's exactly 10 yards away from the ball, and he starts running about 7 yards away, and he kicks this one. It's a low kick that bounces about the 15. Is going to be taken by Cameron Eubanks, who crosses the 24 out to the 25-yard line, and that's where McKinney North will set up shop on their very first possession.
Long kick, but didn't have a lot of air under it, so it allowed Eubanks to get quickly to the 20, and then the coverage team for the Titans converts pretty quickly and tackled him just about on contact at the 25, and that's where McKinney North takes over for the first time, 75 yards away from the end zone, but more importantly, it's a chance to make a statement early in the game.
Well, the McKinney North Bulldog offense comes out here, and we'll give you their starting offense right after this play on 1st down and 10. Chase Barrett is in the backfield along with Eric Herbal. They will send 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far right And to the near side is Cameron Buford. Eubanks goes in motion. They fake it to him, give it to Chase Barrett up the middle. Big hole and pops his way out to the 29-yard line. And here is your McKinney North starting offense. Second down and about 6. 11:22 to go here in the first quarter. We're underway. Here's a handoff. Chase Barrett up the middle, and he's close to a first down. It could be about a yard short as he crosses to about the 34-yard line. And on the stop comes up the safety, Chad Bliss, and he makes a lot of tackles coming up from his safety position. It'll be third down and short with 11:03 just underway. McKinney North in their first possession, moving left to right on the radio dial. McKinney North will send out one receiver to the near side, and that's Cameron Buford. Two receivers out far left, and Eubanks in the slot. Shotgun formation. Herbal hands off Barrett. Once again, it's all Chase Barrett so far. He's not going to get the first down here. He's going to be a couple of inches short as Brandon Wood really comes off a block and makes the stop.
Well, the thing about that one, John Burke was actually the one who made contact behind the line, forcing Chase Barrett to start to move prematurely. Barrett was able to at least get back to the line of scrimmage before being stopped right at the line, but it was Burke who really made that play.
So it'll be fourth down and punting time for McKinney North. Brandon Dunn will go back to punt on the year. He has 28 punts for a 33.39 average. And with 10-13 and rolling here in the first, no score. Brandon Dunn gets the punt off. It's a kind of a wobbly but nice punt. Bounces at the 41, takes a good north roll down to the 31-yard line. Now inside the 30, right at the, what are they going to say, right inside the 30 with maybe the nose touching the line.
Good 36-yard punt there, deep. I shouldn't say deep, but pretty close to midway through in your own territory. Knocks that one out to the 30. That's what you needed. Now you got to give it to your defense and say, let's set the same tone.
First down and 10, and we'll give you the dog defense right after this play. As Frisco Centennial will come out, moving right to left, and it will be the quarterback, Crosby Butler, under center this time, starting at the football game as quarterback. He's a sophomore. Double tight set, handoff. Aaron Jones running left side, has to cut it back, and now in trouble. And on the stop for McKinney North is Mike Smith, along with a couple of others. One other that was there that I saw was Jeremy Nelson as he came up in support. And I told you we'd give you the defense, and we'll do it after this next play. It will be second down at about 9 after the 1-yard gain. 9:29 and rolling here in the first quarter. They're coming out in the double tight set once again. Aaron Jones is not going to get the ball here. He's going to throw out to the right side, trying to make the catch, and does, is the big receiver out there. And on the catch is Ben Walker, who has 8 catches and 95 yards coming into the game. Cole Permetter makes the stop, but quarterback Butler made a nice throw out there. It was kind of like the old Aikman to Irvin quick in, and that's what it was. A gain of about 4. It'll be third down and about 5, or possibly 4.5, right at the 36-yard line.
Yeah, small gain of 5, but it gets you halfway closer to the first down.
Double tight set once again. Aaron Jones in the backfield, shotgun formation, handoff. Jones up the middle. Nope, this is going to be Butler rolling out left side. He fooled me a little bit, and a great play over here. He tried to throw it down to his big receiver, and Brandon Dunn put this pop on him right towards the sideline. There is a flag down at the 41. Let's check and see what that is. They're talking to Aaron Jones from Frisco Centennial.
He is their captain, so it looks like it's probably against McKinney North. Nope, not a good deal.
It is against Frisco Centennial.
That'll be a decline. Fourth down, force him to punt.
And Butler's coming back out on the field. And Butler is their punter. So we'll see what they elect to do here. Also coming out on the field for Frisco Centennial will be Brandon Wood. And they will drop now back in punt formation from the 36-yard line. So 3 and out for both squads. Early going here with 8:38 in the first quarter. Butler gets the snap back. The punt is wobbly. Not as good as Brandon Dunn's punt. This was going to bounce at the 40 inside and roll out of bounds at about the 37-yard line, and that's where McKinney North will take over. Better field position than they had a moment ago, starting at their own 25. They'll take over at the 37 here.
Yeah, only a 27-yard punt there from Butler. Didn't have a lot of air underneath it, and it was more of a liner. bounced about the 40, and then rolled sideways toward the sideline and went only 3 yards deep into McKinney North territory. And so they have a good stand there on defense, forcing the punt. Now they can come back on offense and see what they can do here.
Kind of a lethargic start for both squads. Ayton Williams and David Douglas will be split out wide either side. Herbal in shotgun. Barrett moves now to his right. They're going to hand off to him once again. Crosses the 39 out to the 40-yard line where he'll be met by Brent Holtrop, who comes up and makes the stop from his inside linebacker position.
Yeah, just a simple give left tackle, and it was blocked fairly well, but it was also congested fairly well by the Titan defense, and Chase Barrett wasn't able to do much but get 3 yards.
It looks like Coach Pratt is really trying to set the tone with Chase Barrett so far, running him on just about every play, if not every play. Second down, and 7 with 7:58 to go. In the first quarter, this is Herbal, throws it out for his receiver, caught at the 50 inside to the 45 and down at the 43-yard line. That's David Douglas on the far side, and he makes the catch and taken down by Brandon Harrison and also Joe Catt.
Yeah, and that's a nice gain. The line of scrimmage was at the 40-yard line. He crossed over into Titan territory down to the 44. And you'll take a gain of 16.
They will mark it in between the 43 and the 44. And on first down and 10, Herbal's going to hand off to Barrett. Running right tackle is met at the line of scrimmage, but carries him for a couple. And Matt Crook is the guy that held on for life as Chase Barrett took him down to the 41-yard line. Still a gain of 2 yards.
Well, that was his 5th carry, and he only has 14 yards, but they're sticking with it. And generally speaking, when you have a Chase Barrett and you stick with it, something good is going to happen down the line.
No score, McKinney North and Frisco Centennial. 7:06 left to go first quarter. 2 receivers right side for McKinney North, 1 to the left. Herbal looking over that way, wants to throw, and he throws it away out of bounds just over the head of David Douglas, and that'll bring up third down and 8 with 6:57 left to go first quarter.
Yeah, on the far side, Douglas was running about a 10-yard out, but it looked like he might have cut it short a bit, more have been in the 8 variety, and at the same time, Herbal would have overthrown just barely a 10-yard out, so it looked like that was a pretty big incompletion, but it looks like there was just a slight problem from both the quarterback and receiver.
Well, you have to say that's the first non-accurate throw Eric Herbal has had going back to Justin Northwest. This is Eric Herbal in shotgun formation on 3rd and 8. Looks over the middle, steps up in the pocket, and his hit as he throws over to Ayton Williams, and it falls incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down. He was really hit at about the same time he was throwing the football. I think Brandon Wood came up there and really popped him and hit his right arm. But luckily for McKinney North, the ball went down instead of up, and that'll bring up 4th down and punting time for Brandon Dunn as he marches on the field. The ball is placed on the left hash, moving left to right. Dunn has a lot of room to work with if he wants to kick it to the near side over here.
Yeah, on that last play, I'm sorry, Monty, what happened, the Titans came in with a 2 outside linebacker blitz. Chase Barrett was able to pick up the far side, but Wood was able to come through on the near side untouched.
Brandon Dunn with gloves catches it, punts it towards that far side. And the ball actually rolls a great bounce all the way inside the 10, down to the 2, down to the 1, and they're going to down it right at the 1-yard line. A great punt for Brandon Dunn, who just kind of pooched it down there and let it roll, and it did its job.
40-yard punt if it stands at the 1, which I think they got to be careful because when they down that, it looked like the heel was very close to the end zone, and if your heel or any part of your body for that matter touches the end zone, it's a touchback, but it looks like they were okay with it.
We'll give the credit to Mike Smith, who was right there to come up with the football, and he made sure his heels were not in the end zone. And apparently Mike Smith knew exactly where he was, and being on defense, I'm sure he's got to like the fact that they're on the 1-yard line.
This is the time where you get to pin your ears back on the defensive end and just go after the offense. Now, at the same time, he can bet the Centennial is going to come and try a run at least on first down to get a little breathing room.
First down and 10 from the 1-inch line. They're going to quarterback sneak it, and that's the freshman, the quarterback Ryan Mosikowski. rushes his way out of the 1 yard line. Kirsten Williams brings him down, but he did gain about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7 with 6:32 left to go, first quarter, no score.
Yeah, credit Aaron Jones for getting part of those yards because he was
He was
playing
doing
the
a
halfback.
little pushing in the back there.
Well, no, what happened is he acted like the snap was to him and ran out, and he took a couple of the defenders with him on the fake, and that allowed Masikowski to come up and get a couple yards.
Second down and 7.
Well, the ball will be placed at the 4 yard line. 2nd down and 7. This is right up the middle, and Mike Smith or Kenny Alexander comes up and makes the stop. I believe that was Masikowski again. I didn't see. I was looking up, and it might have been Aaron Jones.
No, they gave it to Joe Kapp back there, and he was stuck at the pile, and his forward progress was over and whistled it. But right as they whistled, he was able to break out of the pile. But unfortunately, if your forward progress is stopped for about 2 seconds, you're going to get the whistle, and that's what happened there. But they did gain positive yards, but could have been a bigger gain for Kapp because he would have had the corner, probably would have been able to at least get a first down.
Ryan Masikowski brings his troops out on 3rd down and about 5 with 5:25 left to go here in the first quarter, no score. Masikowski, the 14-year-old freshman, bringing his troops out right at the 4. Well, there's going to be whistles now, and we'll see what this is. Somebody called a timeout. We'll take one, too. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Frisco Memorial Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Sappho. It's 3rd down and 5. 5:14 left to go first quarter. This is the quarterback who wants to throw outside. He has Brandon Harrison, his favorite receiver, makes the catch at the 15-yard line, enough for the first down. Harrison just kind of ran an out, about a 5-yard and out, made the catch. Harrison came in the year as the favorite receiver, 21 catches, 482 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And on the stop for McKinney North was Bo Burns.
Yeah, just a simple kind of what it is it's basically a go 10 yards and stop, but Bo Burns was playing soft coverage out there. And the stop, he was still taking a step or two, and the quarterback timed it perfectly.
Masikowski sends double tight and now wants to throw out left side again. Has a man in his face and now dumps it out to Harrison, who makes the catch at the 40, breaks away, and now down at the McKinney North 48-yard line. Harrison made another great catch. Bo Burns was in coverage, got kind of behind him, and Harrison made a nice move to get away for a second.
Yeah, nice 36-yard pass, and a lot of that was Harrison's running down the sideline there, and luckily they tripped him up because if they don't, it's a touchdown. But, you could talk about woulda, couldas, but now all of a sudden Centennial's inside McKinney North territory, and this is a situation where, it looks like North's playing just a bit uninspired. You got to belt down on defense.
I've been trying to get you the McKinney North starting defense, and we'll do it right after this first down play. Double tight set for the freshman, who's going to hand off to Aaron Jones, and he's tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Mike Smith. And right now we're going to give you the McKinney North starting defense. 2nd down and 9, 3:54 and rolling here in the first, no score. McKinney North and Frisco Centennial. The freshman quarterback, Masikowski, drops back, wants to throw to Harrison again. That's not Harrison. It's a great play by Cameron Eubanks, though, over on the near side cornerback, who made a great play. It was his receiver who was going up for it. It was normally Harrison's position, but Mike Thompson was the intended receiver out on that play. I don't know where Harrison was unless he was just on the far side.
Starting lineup for the Centennial offense looks like this. We'll get to the skill positions after this play, but first on the offensive line, it's Farad Piper, the left tackle, Kenny Smith, left guard, Tommy Brooker, the center, Josh Spicer at right guard, and the senior Adam Watson playing right tackle.
Harrison back in on this 3rd down and 9 as he goes in motion from far side to near side. He's in the slot. And Masikowski fakes it to him. Now he wants to throw the home run ball down the field, and he overshoots his wide receiver just by a hair. He was trying to hit Ben Walker on the near sideline with 3:38 left to go. Walker had a nice game against McKinney, with 3 catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown, but couldn't make the big catch there as the freshman quarterback just overshot him by about a yard.
Yeah, didn't miss him by much, and it would have been a touchdown because he was behind him. But the starting skill positions for the Titans are this: Brandon Harrison, TJ Ogunsola at the wide receiver positions, along with Rashad Baker. In the backfield, it's Aaron Jones at tailback, LaRon Washington also guard, and the quarterback's Crosby Butler.
Masikowski doesn't only alternate at quarterback with Butler, he also alternates at punter, and he's going to send this one inside the 20, right at the 19-yard line, and McKinney North will set up their third possession right at their own 19. So not a great punt, but it's very effective as McKinney North starts with not great field position inside their own 20, and our super secret spotter insider guy said there's a flag on the play, and it's a face mask against Frisco Centennial, and they'll bring this one back, and maybe McKinney North will decide to get.
Yeah,
well, I guess they're going to back them up.
You're generally going to take this one if you're inside the 20, especially since both punters are only hitting about 28 and 27 on their punts respectively. And unless it was a post possession, by which case it'll be marked from the end of the spot. Well, it just depends on when the face mask occurred.
Some discussion still being talked about by the officials. And while we're talking about the officials, let's go ahead and give them. They're out of the Dallas chapter. The referee, Rick Hover, and the umpire, Wes Brown. The linesman, Mark Cox. The line judge, Matt Reichenstein. Remember him? We had him once before. And the back judge, Tom Stoner. And it will be against Frisco Centennial. And they will move the ball back just a little bit, and we'll see what.
So apparently it was a post possession because they're going to take it from where the ball died, because on comes the offense for North and the defense for Centennial. So it's a 10-yard penalty, all right? So they up to the 29.
So the McKinney North Bulldogs have started at their own 25. Their own 37, and now the 29-yard line. No points on the board for either team. 3:30 left to go first quarter, as this is going to be a handoff. Barrett up the middle, breaks a tackle for a moment, has lots of room, and goes down at the 38-yard line by Chad Bliss, the safety, who makes the stop just 2 yards short of the first down, right at the 38.
Yeah, good gain. Again, that's Chase Barrett's bread and butter, running up the middle, and found a small gap between guard and tackle, and then basically got almost to the first down line.
Second down and 2 here for McKinney North. Handoff Barrett once again up the middle, has the first down out to the 39-yard line. Only needed one as Aaron Luna comes up from his linebacker position and makes the stop, but not after Chase Barrett gained enough for the first down there. They're looking at it, but I don't think there's any doubt about it from our perspective way up here. Now they say first down. Teddy, this has been a lethargic first quarter for the McKinney North Bulldogs. Do you see anything going on down there? Did they act lethargic down on the field?
Well, actually, the problem is right now is that, Coach Pratt they do look lethargic. Coach Pratt is trying to get his team fired up. He's usually quiet and laid back, but this has not been the case right now. But I'll have a little bit more after this play, you guys.
All right, thanks, Teddy Sappho. 2:47 left to go first quarter. No score. Chase Barrett moves to the left. Herbal wants to look over left. Now throws it out left, and he has his man caught, Blake Boblitz, and he goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line, about 4 yards short of the first down. Danny McDonald comes over from his corner position, makes the stop. Teddy, talk to us some more.
Good rush in there by
The O-line coach, he's been rather disappointed about the blocking up front because, they'll do well on the first two downs. When it comes to third down, it's like they let down a little bit, so they're trying to get the offensive line fired up as well.
And second down and 5, 2:38 left to go first quarter. Herbal in shotgun, handoff Barrett up the middle, pushes his way for maybe a yard as the stop is the front two of the front three there. Nehemiah Alinu makes the stop from his nose guard position along with Matt Crook. We talked about how good Crook was from last year, and he's there once again.
Yeah, he's one of the big cloggers in that middle there. Really helps him out. And that's one thing that they need if they're going to try to stop Chase Barrett, because that's his bread and butter is up the middle.
Need a big play here. Third down and 4. Clock nearing 2 minutes here in the first quarter. Herbal drops back, wants to throw it, has a man, decides to run it though, has the first down inside Frisco Centennial territory at the 43-yard line. Colin Banks makes the stop, but Eric Herbal, I'm impressed with Herbal for one thing. He had Max Butler wide open, but when he saw a lane, he took it. He's not known for his running ability, but he saw that he had enough room to get the first down, and he went ahead and took it.
Yeah, just a nice, fancy 12-yard gain for Eric Herbal. That's not, Chase Barrett 12-yard gain where it looks flashy and quick, but he had a hole and he ran through it, and when contact was about to be made, he tucked it up to prevent a fumble. Good job, Eric.
First down and 10, a minute 40 here in the first quarter. No score. Herbal looking over left side. Wants to throw it. Now throws it down the field. Has a man there, and great coverage for Frisco Centennial. He was trying to hit Blake Boblitz, but it was Brandon Harrison in great position there to knock off anything that Boblitz could have done down around the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it's simple fade, and Blake's got some quick speed about him, but it was just out of his reach. But at the same time, he had to try to throw it over the height of Brandon Harrison there, and so he had to get it high to prevent an interception, but it was just a hair too high.
2nd down and 10, 2 receivers to the left side. Cameron Buford to the near side. Chase Barrett in the backfield along with Herbal in shotgun formation. Handoff Barrett up the middle, has a big hole, crosses the 35 and ripped down from behind at the 34-yard line. And on the stop is Chad Bliss, the safety once again. And we're going to be calling Chad Bliss's name a lot tonight if Barrett's able to get through the line of scrimmage like he's been doing.
Yeah, again, he was able just to almost be the safety. Hold on.
This was Herbal going up under center, trying to get the first down on the quarterback sneak. John Burke had other ideas about it, but we'll see what the officials. Teddy, you might have a good look at this one.
Guys, he's short. He is short by a yard. It's 4th down.
Okay, it will be 4th down, and the ball is placed at the 34-yard line. So we'll see exactly what Coach Sean Pratt elects to do on 4th down. You might just go for it right here. You're in Frisco Centennial territory anyway. The defense has been playing stellar so far, and I think they will go for it. And they will bring Kirsten Williams in the backfield along with Chase Barrett. And they're going to give Barrett the ball, and he's going to get the first down inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Max Marr makes the stop, but I tell you what, they brought over Kirsten Williams on the right side, and everybody thought, well, they're going to run behind him. Nope, they ran it to the other side, and Chase Barrett had a little bit of room, and he found that crease and got the first down.
Yeah, and they had also brought in motion the tight end Jeff Olson, but he wasn't going quick enough because he was engaged in a block, and it was almost as if he was being pushed behind from Chase Barrett to get the first down, but it ultimately got what it needed to get.
That will be the end of the first quarter. No score here in Frisco at Frisco Memorial Stadium between McKinney North and Frisco Centennial. We'll be back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Frisco Memorial Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Saffo. It's the second quarter. There's no score here at Frisco Memorial Stadium as McKinney North has 1st down and 10 now, moving right to left. Handoff Chase Barrett, right tackle, big hole, 25-20 and down to the 17-yard line. And Chase Barrett found a gaping hole over the right tackle before Chad Bliss finally brought him down from his safety position. And it's a 1st down for McKinney North.
Well, Chase Barrett's going to get the yards, but you better credit the tight end Jeff Olson again coming in motion, laying down a block, and he got a good one. If he doesn't get that block, Chase Barrett stopped at the line of scrimmage, and as it was, it allowed him to spring free.
Give him credit for an 11-yard run down to the 18-yard line. 11:47 left to go, second quarter. 1st and 10, McKinney North, and it's been all Chase Barrett here so far. They haven't yet found the end zone, though. Jeff Olson, the slot to the right side. And this is going to be Herbal on the option. Pitches it out to Barrett, cuts it inside 15, down to the 10, down to the 5, dragging people into the end zone. It is touchdown time in Texas. McKinney North scores first and draws first blood tonight. 11:26 left to go in the second quarter. And we talked about how McKinney North doesn't do well in the first. Well, you flip the switch to the second quarter, and here we are.
Well, not even 34 seconds in. Just your standard option play to go 18 yards for a touchdown before cutting it up in the middle. And beautifully run play right there, and a well-done job by Chase Barrett shaking a few tackles on his way to the end zone. He was mauled by 3 guys at the 5 and somehow managed to drag all of them across the plane of the end zone.
The extra point by Blake Boblitz is about to be teed up. The snap is back. It's on the tee. The kick is up. It's very wobbly and shaky, but it's good. 7-0. The McKinney North Bulldogs take the lead first. 11:26 left to go in the second quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Well, we're not singing the blues right now on this Beef O'Brady's kickoff. The McKinney North Bulldogs just scored on an 18-yard touchdown by Chase Barrett. It took 11 plays, and it took a lot of time off the clock. I believe, I didn't check it, but I know it was at least 6 minutes off the clock. Right now we have 11:26 left to go in the second quarter, and McKinney North has a 7-0 score.
Yeah, that drive was facilitated by Chase Barrett, who already has 12 carries in this game.
Beef O'Brady's kickoff is going to go, well, guess what? Out of bounds. And Larry Lindsay from Beef O'Brady's will get yet another kickoff. Some scores to pass along. Dennison and Sherman all knotted up 7 apiece in the Battle of the Axe. Here's one that you're probably more interested in, McKinney fans. McKinney on top of Lake Dallas 7-3 early, and no score yet, Frisco and Justin Northwest.
And that one's in the second, just started like we have here. And that's one that's one of the biggest ones because that is a direct game. If Frisco wins, they're in. So that's carries key playoff implication. And, of course, McKinney wants Frisco to drop them.
North of Plano, those are absolutely the 3 biggest games in North Texas. And we'll try to keep you posted on all 3 of those tonight. 11:26 left to go in the second quarter. 7-0 McKinney North on top here. And we'll get ready to tee up this Beef O'Brady's kick once again as Cameron Eubanks rather is going to have to come to the field and hold the ball because the wind's blowing so bad. And we'll talk to Teddy about that in a moment and see which way it's blowing here. We don't have flags on the goalpost, so we'll have to check and see which way it's, and this might affect the passing for one team. And it could be McKinney North. I guess it's blowing right at McKinney North right now.
Yeah, and that's why deferring to the second half was also such a huge thing for Centennial.
The Beef O'Brady's kickoff is up in the air. This is a very good kick. There's a flag down. Aaron Jones is going to take it at the 3, coming near side 20. Look out, 25-30. And cut down by Bo Burns. Or no, that's Cameron Eubanks at the 33-yard line. He would have been gone.
And it's an odd place. Right as the kickoff was being kicked by Boblitz, one of the deep, I guess that's the
line judge.
Umpire at the 10-yard line threw a flag at the 15. Generally, that's not a situation where you're offsides because you can't be offsides down at the 10-15. So I'm curious on this call.
Well, we'll check and see what they sort out here, and they're going to have a false start against Frisco Centennial.
No,
or legal procedure against the Bulldogs.
But I'm wondering how can an umpire
how can he
down
see
at
it
the
that far?
10-yard line?
How can he see that far back?
I'm confused.
Well,
I don't know how you could do that. I really.
Unless somebody lined up out of bounds, or I don't know.
Oh, no, there's no way that would happen. I mean, you can see an offsides, but all of a sudden, instead of being at the 35, it's at the 40, and Centennial's in business.
Well, they will start at the 40-yard line in their own territory, however. This is their third series. They've started at their own 30, and they've started at their own 1. And now they will get it out to the 40-yard line, and the quarterback for this series will be Crosby Butler. Again, they switch out the sophomore and the freshman. Ryan Masakowski was in last series, so Butler will get this one. 3 receivers all stacked together to the near side. Look out over here. Butler is going to hand off to Jones up the middle, crosses the 40 out to the 41-yard line and taken down by Mike Smith, who's having a nice game at his linebacker position.
Well, Chase Barrett has 12 carries for 68 yards, but on the other end, Aaron Jones not so successful. 3 carries for 3 yards, and all of them have been for a yard.
Well, last week, 7 carries, 12 yards in their game that they had against Lake Dallas. And Lake Dallas, not a powerhouse on defense by any standards, but
of course they're not bad, but at the same time, 7 for 12 is just not that great.
3 receivers out left side this time. Butler is in shotgun formation, and that's LaRon Washington in the backfield. And Butler's in trouble, and he barely struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage as James San Miguel, the linebacker and the captain on defense, makes the stop for no gain. It was a good job by Butler just getting back to the line of scrimmage, and now there is some golden trash on the ground, and we'll see what that is.
Yeah, this came after the play. I just have a fear it's a personal foul. Too much talking going on afterward, and since the referee, maybe it's a sideline warning too.
The ball for a moment is being spotted at the 40-yard line, so credit San Miguel for a sack, I guess, because it is a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, it's a sideline warning on McKinney, so nothing drastic is going to happen of it. But, at the other end, it's nice to see that they're excited about it on the sideline and not lethargic.
Interesting decision here on 3rd down. They bring in their freshman quarterback, Ryan Masakowski, and Butler goes out. He's in shotgun formation, and he will drop back to pass. The right-handed quarterback setting up the screen. He's in all kinds of trouble, and he is nailed way back to the 12-yard line. Zach Plummer is one of them. And Ryan Selby-Carney also there. It was tremendous pressure from the McKinney North Bulldog defense. Zach Plummer makes one of the greatest plays back there, and they were trying to set up the screen, and Masakowski was just floating backwards, trying to hopefully heave it over the defenders. But I'm telling you, there were 3 Bulldog defenders right in his face.
Yeah, big sack there. That's, let's see, 23-yard loss?
All the way back to the 17-yard line. This will be Butler coming in to punt it, and he will actually bounce it at the 38, and it will take a little bit of a roll and go out to the 45. So McKinney North in great business right here at the Frisco Centennial 45-yard line. They'll take over shop here. Absolutely a great play by that defense.
27-yard punt for Butler. And that's exactly what he did on his first punt. And all of a sudden, with that big sack, McKinney North sets up at the 45 in Centennial territory. And, you know, with Blake Boblitz, this is definitely a good chance to put more points on the board with at least a field goal.
I just had visions of Bob Lilly chasing Bob Greasy all the way back in that Super Bowl. Here is Herbal, swings it out to Eubanks, makes one nifty move inside, cuts it back outside out to the 38-yard line where Brandon Harrison will wrestle him out of bounds. And that's close to a first down, about a couple of yards short. Let's check down with Teddy Saffo. Teddy, that lethargic McKinney North bench, has it pepped up any in the last couple of minutes?
Oh, they've pepped up all right. Obviously right now since they scored that last touchdown, and you have to give credit to the offensive line there. Coach Pratt, after they scored, he congratulated each and every one of them for since they were getting their blocks down and allowing Chase Barrett to get through the line. Back to you guys.
7-0. McKinney North on top. 8:53 left to go, second quarter. Herbal in shotgun formation. He fakes the hand to Barrett, throws it down the field. Home run ball all alone as Aiden Williams caught it in the end zone. It is touchdown time in Texas. Aiden Williams gives the ball to the referee, and Coach Sean Pratt said a couple of weeks ago, or last week, a couple of nights ago rather, that Aiden Williams was the most improved from last year to this year. Last year he couldn't catch a cold. This year he's catching everything, especially the big play.
Well, he wasn't even the intended receiver. That was supposed to be a pass out in the flat to Chase Barrett, who, by the way, was open. But Chase Barrett, or rather Eric Earl, made a fantastic read and saw Williams streaking down the sideline.
Timeout's been called. We'll take one, too. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Frisco Memorial Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Blake Boblitz, apparently, as he just boots through the PAT. 14-0. McKinney North takes the lead. 8:43 left to go in the second quarter. And guess what? We're going to take another timeout. Be back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Frisco Memorial Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and the crew. We have some scores to pass along for you. Everybody in McKinney should be happy right now. McKinney is up 14-3 over Lake Dallas. The other big game in this district is Justin Northwest. They've taken a lead over Frisco 7-0. And the Battle of the Axe, last score we had there, all knotted up 7-7 in Sherman. Right here, 14-0, McKinney North on top. So right now, if it ended right now, McKinney would be in the playoffs.
Well, if it's in butts were candy nuts and every day would be Christmas, you got to play the whole thing out. And so I say, don't get too excited yet. Let it play out, and we'll see what happens. And I'm hoping that everything stays pat. I really do. I'd love to do 2 playoff games in one week. I really would.
Everybody would love to see both schools in. It's been a great year. It's been a year of adversity for McKinney, trying to fight through so many injuries, and it's just been. It's been crazy at McKinney this year. It absolutely has. Here is Blake Boblitz kicking off the Beef O'Brady kickoff since Aaron Jones all the way back in his own end zone. He slips and falls, but he gets up. Apparently his knee didn't go down. He crosses the 10, 15, 20, and now he does go out of bounds at the 22. They're going to mark him at the 24, give him a couple of extra yards there. But Frisco Centennial will take over at their own 24 here in the second quarter. 8:38 left to go in the second quarter. Brandon, you're dying to say something.
Well, they were just so close to knocking him down inside the 20. That was really a bad decision to take it out. I mean, it ended up working now. But number one, he was halfway deep into the end zone. Number two, he slipped on his way out. He really could have been tackled, but he was able to at least find a crease and redeem himself out to the 24.
It was only a two-play drive rather for McKinney North as they went 45 yards on the Aiden Williams reception from Eric Herbal. Right now, 8:38 left to go second quarter, 14-0. McKinney North on top. Here's the snap, handoff to Washington up the middle, big hole 30. Look out, 35, and slips and falls down to the 38-yard line. If it wasn't for the turf, he might not have. It was actually Justin Janow who gets credit for the tackle, but the turf gets a half tackle on that one, I think.
Yeah, he was into the secondary, and the defense, you can't let up right now. I mean, that was a pretty big run. That was only their third first down of the game and the first on the ground.
It was a gaping hole on that left side of the line, and Washington getting into the football game now.
Well, he, with 15 yards on one carry, clips what Aaron Jones did.
He will stand to the left of Masakowski. Handoff once again up the middle, and he's met. And hanging on for dear life is Micah Moore, and he drags him down right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe give him credit for an inch or two, but it'll bring up second down and 10.
Much better job defensively by the line, getting penetration and holding him up. And he didn't go down right away, but you held him up long enough for somebody else to get in. By the time you get 3 or 4 or 5 guys on top, you're generally going to make a tackle because he's not going anywhere. And that's what that defense did there.
4-man front, looks like. Actually, it's going to be a 3-man front for McKinney North now. And they will have – and now they bring up a 5-man front. Shotgun formation for Masakowski. He wants to throw it, has a man right in his face, throwing it down for Harrison. Caught at the 32, dragging Bo Burns down to the 10, down inside the 8-yard line. And actually, that's Cole Permetter, the cornerback. They're going to spot the ball right at the 7-yard line. A huge pass and catch there for Frisco Centennial.
54 yards to be exact, and with that puts Ryan Masakowski at an even 100 passing for the game already. And you think there's one Achilles heel to this McKinney North defense. It's in the secondary. We saw it against Hebron, a really good passing team. Pretty much just had their way.
Frisco Centennial will come back out. And we'll give you the numbers you were talking about a moment ago. Here's Masakowski, double tight set, has a man in the backfield. That's Cap. He wants to fake it. Now he's sacked in the backfield. That is Brett Davis who comes in the backfield and makes the stop. That'll bring up second down and a rather long. It was a nice play. And Brett Davis comes up, getting around that end zone. You need those big plays like that. And Brett Davis came up with one right there.
Well, that's an 8-yard sack. But more specifically, that's the 3rd sack already for this McKinney North defense.
6:35 left to go, second quarter, 14-0. McKinney North leading here. McKinney in the lead also, 14-3. As now Masakowski will call a timeout. We'll take one too. 6:24 left to go, second quarter, 14-0. McKinney North on top. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Frisco Memorial Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. A terrible play right there for Masakowski. Brandon, you probably saw that one a little bit better than I did. It was a bad snap, first of all. Mike Smith came up with the big play, and also Casey Clapp. But talk about this, Brandon.
Yeah, what happened was that was going to be a sweep to the left side. And the thing is, if you're going to do a sweep to the left side, you cannot juggle it because it's a timing thing where the running back's going left, and he has to get it almost immediately. Masakowski fumbled it. Then he had a huge wide open hole. They started about the 15, started going up the right side, and right about the 5-yard line, he was being dragged down by Mike Smith. The ball came loose, and McKinney North fumbled it.
And Casey Clapp
recovered the fumble, rather.
Casey Clapp comes up with the fumble, and now McKinney North takes over at their own 1. This is going to be a handoff. Chase Barrett running right tackle, not running for very long as he makes it out to the 5 or maybe the 6 before he's taken down by Olinu and Crook. So second down, McKinney North deep in their own territory.
Gain of about 3 on the play. I think it's second down and 7.
So the ball will be spotted right at the 6-yard line. There's 5:50 left to go in the second quarter, and this is going to be a handoff. Barrett running up the middle, fighting his way for more yardage, crosses the 12, barreling his way down to the 14-yard line, very close to a first down, and I believe he has it. Chad Bliss, the safety, makes the stop once again.
Yeah, and this is where it's great to have a running back of Chase Barrett's caliber where you can just start pounding out the yards. 6 first down for McKinney North, 5 of them rushing.
Well, you talk about how good Chase Barrett is, but let's talk about the offensive line as well. When you're talking about a guy who's number 4 in the country, according to ESPN2, at center, and Ryan Burke, that explains a lot about running up the middle for Chase Barrett. Here is first down and 10. They're going to hand off on the swing on to Cameron Eubanks, who slips down, and he might have even lost a couple of yards. Max Marr is going to get credit for it, but Eubanks just fell down trying to make that cut on the inside.
Yeah, sometimes the problem with playing on this type of surface is the grass is held together by rubber granules, and if you're trying to make a hard cut, not just a cut, but a hard cut, which is what Eubanks was trying to do, 90 degrees, the granules can slip a little, causing you to slip.
Second down, call it a loss of 2. Second down and 12, 4:53 on the clock. Herbal will send 2 men out to the left, 1 man out to the right. And in shotgun, Herbal wants to pass, throws it out near side, has Blake Boblitz. It's caught at the 15-yard line and drug out of bounds there. That'll get him a little bit, but Danny McDonald was right there on blanket coverage on Boblitz. He couldn't get away and goes out of bounds after a minimal gain. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, only a gain of 3. But what that does, it does move the line for Eric Herbal to a 5 of 8 performance. And Blake's now the only receiver in the game with multiple catches for North.
Shotgun. Chase Barrett's going to stand just behind Herbal to the right side. Herbal's going to drop back, rolls right, wants to throw, has a man and overshoots Cameron Buford right at the 20-yard line. So that'll bring up Brandon Dunn time. 4th down and 9. 4:37 left to go second quarter. McKinney North on top, 14-0. Scores to pass along. Sherman and Denniston now tied 14-14 in the 100th anniversary of the Battle of the Axe. McKinney on top of Lake Dallas, 14-3. Justin Northwest on top of Frisco, 7-0. So everybody in McKinney take a big sigh and breathe a little bit, because right now it's looking pretty good. 4:37 left to go second quarter. Brandon Dunn about to punt this 4th and 9 football away. Back deep is Aaron Jones, who stands at his own 44-yard line. And Dunn gets the snap. It's back. The punt is a wobbly one, going to be taken by Jones at the 44. And he calls for the fair catch, hands it over to the official. And that's where Frisco Centennial will take over at the McKinney North 44-yard line.
31-yard punt, the worst of the day for Brandon Dunn, but all things considered, you'll take it with a rush being put on by the Titans. Now they set up with one of their better field, I think their second-best field position. And last time they started it inside McKinney territory at the 40, they went backwards in a hurry.
And Frisco Centennial wondering who's going to be their quarterback, and now Butler comes out. Runs over to the huddle. They come back out on the football field. Butler is actually going way back deep and not looking where he's going, and now has to run up to the huddle. He's actually going to go under center, sends 3 men out wide right. 1 man in the backfield is Aaron Jones, and their flag is down, and I think they took them too much time. Now they're going to say false start.
Yeah, you can't move along the offensive line once you get set. There's about 4 seconds left on the play clock, but because they were in a hurry, the linemen were in a hurry as well.
Well, that'll bring them back 5 yards. It'll be 1st down and 15. And now they will actually start at their own, or at the, their own 49-yard line.
Relatively penalty-free game to this point, only 2 for each side. And 10 yards for McKinney North and only 15 in penalties for Frisco Centennial.
Looks like the same formation. 3 receivers to the near side. Butler under center is going to hand off to Aaron Jones. Takes a lot of time to do it. Jones trying to find the far sidelines. Does. Has the 40 and runs out of bounds at about the 39-yard lines. He runs out because James San Miguel was right there to make sure he didn't go any further. But he got some great yardage out to where they're going to spot him right about the 41-yard line.
Yeah, officially a gain of 9 for Jones. No doubt his longest carry of the game to this point. A simple counter play, which means the tailback takes a step in one direction and goes the other. In this case, Jones took a step to the right. The defense started moving right, so Jones goes left, and that's allowed him to get to the edge and get some good yards.
We'll feed Teddy Saffo down here after this play. 2nd down and 6, 4:22 left to go second quarter. McKinney North on top, 14-0. 3 receivers to the near side. Butler stands back in shotgun this time. Aaron Jones in the backfield. Butler wants to throw. Throws his man out in the flat and is incomplete. He was trying to hit his man Algonzola out there on the ear. Algonzola, one of the other big receivers, 11 catches, 125 yards, and a touchdown. He had his biggest game back against Justin Northwest, where he had 3 catches and 36 yards. and the ball just kind of goes over his head there.
Yeah, Butler just overthrew him, making his line 1 for 3 on the night, only 5 yards passing. But, again, he's not the reason this is a passing team, I don't think.
Well, if you want to compare quarterbacks, Butler has not had as much success as the freshman, Masikowski. Butler has actually thrown 9 interceptions in his limited time of play, and that's really not going to get it done. But he's still named the starter. He's a sophomore over the freshman, and let's see what he does here. He's under great pressure, and McKinney North can't finish him off as Butler escapes, and now he's really nailed. The ball comes loose, and somebody has it for the McKinney North Bulldogs. I haven't seen yet who comes up with it, but a great play there, and I believe it was Casey Clapp. It might have been Clapp, and it might have been Brett Davis who came up with it. We're trying to sort it out and see who it was, but nonetheless, Butler escaped for a moment from a huge rush. He turned around and came up, and Brett Davis did get the fumble recovery. But somebody hit him from behind and absolutely destroyed him and knocked the ball loose, and that's why McKinney North has the ball right now at their own 40-yard line.
3 sacks and now 2 fumble recoveries for that Bulldog defense.
And it will be, and I hear Teddy. We need to talk to Teddy. There's a handoff up the middle. Chase Barrett gets a couple of yards, flagged down. Brett Davis is down right now, but let's talk to Teddy Saffo. Anything going on down on the sidelines?
Right now, this team actually, the coach is trying to urge the team not to get comfortable, because you saw on their previous offensive possession, they weren't able to get the ball moving. They just want to keep the pedal down on the floor and to keep scoring on this team, because right now they feel like if they get too comfortable, then they'll lose that sense of urgency that they do need to win this game.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy. 4:05 left to go before half. 14-0 here. We're going to try and get some more scores from you for an update from McKinney. And on Justin Northwest, this is going to be against McKinney North here.
Illegal chop block, and that's a big one.
That is a big one, and that will really hurt efforts here, as the ball was going to be placed at the 41-yard line. And right now it will actually go back towards the 25.
Yeah, the reason it's a 15-yard penalty is because what happens is you engage a blocker up high and then come from behind and take him out from behind, and that's super dangerous. It can cause a big-time injury, and that's why it's 15 yards.
14-0, McKinney North on top. Last score we had from McKinney was 14-3 over Lake Dallas. McKinney was on top, and also we had Justin Northwest 7-0 over Frisco. And the Battle of the Axe up in Sherman, 14-14, all knotted up there. 4:05 here, 14-0, McKinney North on top. And we're still awaiting the officials to give the word. And Coach Sean Pratt, I believe, was talking to one of the officials over there, finding out what exactly happened. And maybe Teddy has some more information on that here in a moment. Shotgun formation for Herbal. 3 receivers to the right side, including the slot, Big Jeff Olson. And now another flag comes in.
Motion on the offense. Out from his right tackle position was, or rather left tackle was Brett Davis. And once you get set as a lineman, you can't move, and he clearly did.
Teddy, talk about that last play. Was there any talking going on between the referee and Coach Sean Pratt?
Actually, Sean Pratt was actually trying to find out what the penalty was, but but obviously when you walk away from the referees, he couldn't really say a word, because it seemed like the referees did get the call right. So not much controversy right there on that call. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot. The ball is now at the 30-yard line after that penalty against Frisco Centennial. So all kinds of flags being thrown here all of a sudden. And this is going to be the option play, and pitches it out to Barrett, and it's a bad pitch, and there's a fumble. There's a fight for it, and Frisco's still rolling around. Somebody has it at the 20-yard line where it's finally dead, but we don't know who, and now we do. It's Frisco Centennial. And it's Matt Crook who comes up with it. It was just a bad pitch from Eric Herbal to Chase Barrett, and things like that can really hurt, because it's 14-0, and McKinney North with some driving here could really put this game away. But right now, it's nothing like that. If they can score here, they give the ball to Frisco Centennial way down inside their own 20-yard line, and I'm telling you what, this could be a huge factor right here.
Yeah, it brings new life. They're at the 20, but they were inside the 20 before fumbling. But those penalties are really what hurt, is because it knocked them back 20 yards. And now all of a sudden, Centennial's got breath.
And this is going to be Mosikowski in the game of the freshman. He throws a little fade out of bounds. That shows a lot of poise for a 14-year-old kid. He didn't see anything, and he just threw it out of bounds. That's probably why he's on varsity right now.
Well, what that was supposed to be was a simple 1 yard and in out to his receiver on the right side. And I'm looking here, Ben Walker, but he was well covered. And because he was covered so well, and that was his only receiver, and there were 3 white shirts around, he just threw it away. And that was a good call.
Please come to the press box.
Well, it'll be 2nd down and 10 now from the 20-yard line in McKinney North territory. This is going to be Mosikowski handing off to Jones, coming near side. Has the 20, has the 15, cuts it up inside, down at the 10-yard line. First down more than likely for Frisco Centennial. It'll be very close. And Coyle Permetter makes the stop after a 10-yard gain, and let's see if they move the sticks.
They're going to give him only a 9-yard gain on that one, very close to 10. But Aaron Jones starting to find his groove. He's got 9 carries. The first 3 went for a total of 3 yards, but the last 2 have gone for 18.
So it'll be 3rd down and very, very, very short. Probably about a foot, as they will run now a power I, and they're going to quarterback sneak, and Mosikowski tries to fight forward for the first down. It's going to be very close. Ryan Selby-Carney makes the surge for the McKinney North Bulldogs, and this is still very close.
I don't know if he did, because he was back in the backfield and just lunged forward. They're going to spot it as a first down, which is their 5th of the game. But
Teddy, you're right there. Give us a shot.
A first down, so they don't see anything different, then it should remain a first down over here on this play, guys.
Well, it is 1st and goal now from the 10-yard line.
Worst place to have a 1st and goal.
As now they will send another double tight set. Aaron Jones in the backfield, 2 receivers or 1 receiver to either side. Mosikowski goes under center. He's going to toss to Jones, running near side. Now throws it back to Mosikowski, has a man wide open, and he undershoots his man. He had 2 guys wide open. One, Brandon Harrison, on the far side of the end zone, was all by himself. He tried to throw it to the up man, who I believe was Max Marr. I believe it was Marr. It might have been I think it was Marr. James San Miguel came up to provide the coverage, but if he had actually hit his man, that could have been dangerous.
Well, he wasn't going to be able to get Harrison because Bo Burns was playing right in front of him by about 5 yards, and he would have had to loft it, but he was going to be running out of end zone space. So I don't think he'd have been able to loft it in. I think he made a good decision, just a bad throw.
2nd down and goal, 2:39 on the 2nd quarter clock. Mosikowski goes under center, wants to throw it to Brandon Harrison. The fade route out in the end zone, and 2 men go up for it, and 1 man comes down. Both of them come down. It's incomplete.
Bo Burns again making the play. This time he physically makes a pass defense. But what that does now set up 3rd and goal at the 10, and this is a time where I think Centennial's got to pass because you just don't have any faith in that run game.
Well, they could have ran on 1st or 2nd down, you would think, and been okay with Aaron Jones, but now you set yourself up for a definite passing situation here.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't.
They will have a tight end, Rashid Baker, and this time Mosikowski's going to roll out right side under pressure. Now wants to tuck it, throws it in the end zone, just throws it out, and it's caught for a touchdown. Rashid Baker makes the catch. Is it Joe Montana to Dwight Clark? He was throwing that ball away. I could have sworn the ball was being thrown away. It comes down in the hands of Baker for 6 points, and now look out, 14-6. McKinney North on top, awaiting the PAT here, and we'll see what Frisco Centennial does out of the swinging gate. Most of the time, everybody lines up in this and then moves back over, and that's what they're going to do here. Michael Leba is a pretty good kicker. I wouldn't think you'd want to waste a point here early on in this football game. 2:25 left to go in the 2nd quarter. 14-6 right now, awaiting the PAT. It's back, it's on the tee, it's up, and it's good. 14-7. McKinney North holds a slim lead with 2:25 before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Frisco Memorial Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. That was a 6-play, 20-yard drive. Took 1:44 off the clock, capped off by a 10-yard touchdown pass from Mosikowski, his 2nd on the year, to Rashid Baker. And Baker catches his 1st of the year. As we approach the Beef O'Brady's kickoff, and Leba will boot it high and over towards that corner, and it's going to be taken by a deep man, and I believe that is Cameron Eubanks. And he does make the catch, tries to move it inside to the 23 and 24, and he's dragged down by a host of Frisco Centennial Titans. So now, Brandon, you're at your own 24-yard line. You got 2:16 left to go before the half. You're only up by a touchdown. I think you got to try to deliver some kind of a knockout blow right here. Not that you can do it, not that you can really deliver a knockout blow, but you really have to really put some points on the board right here, don't you?
Yeah, it's way too early to do the knockout. I think all you got to do is give him a steady dose of Chase Barrett with a pass or two in the mix. You like your 14-7 lead, and you will be kicking off to start the second. But at the same time, you don't want to have another turnover, giving it to Centennial in their own territory.
Herbal is in shotgun formation, wants to throw, drops back 3 steps, shovel pass up the middle. Chase Barrett has lots of room, 30, 35, cuts it back inside 40, cuts it outside 45, and comes to the near side 50, 45, cuts it inside and tracked down at the 44-yard line. A flag down. Brandon Harrison makes the stop, but Chase Barrett ran all over the field for that big gainer.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one despite the penalty. I think it's going to be a holding down field. You'll still get some yards for Chase Barrett, just not what he would have gotten from the inside of zone 24 down to what would be about the 36.
Jeff Olson throws his arms up in the air in disgust when he hears what the officials had to say there.
And of course, he doesn't realize, he thinks it's a holding back from the line of scrimmage, but what it is, it's a holding down field. An illegal block, technically. And so that's just going to be from the spot of the foul, so they'll get some yards out of it, just not what they would have. They'll still be getting a first down on this.
Well, the ball will be placed right at the 50-yard line with the nose touching the stripe. Most of the ball is in McKinney North territory, but the nose is actually touching the 50-yard line.
So give credit to Chase Barrett for a 41-yard gainer there, because it's going to be ended where the spot of the foul took place.
So first down and 10 for McKinney North, moving right to left. Need to score before half, 1:57 on the clock. Up 14-7. Chase Barrett stands to the right, and Herbal gets the snap, throws it out to Eubanks. Caught, 45, 40, has the first down, and is looking for more to the 35-yard line. Out of bounds, Brandon Harrison pushes him out. It's a first down for Cameron Eubanks and Eric Herbal. And the North Bulldogs are on the move here. That stops the clock with 1:43.
Yeah, just a simple 16-yard pass, but it was 16 yards because Eubanks ran for it. He took it about a couple yards past the line of scrimmage and then threaded his way down to the sideline where he was able to get out of bounds and stop the clock. Now there's 1:43, and you just might want to be careful about doing a little too much.
Remember, you have the weapon, Blake Boblett's the kicker, who has been great. His longest is 41 on the year. This is Herbal, wants to pass, throws it down the field, has a man there, Ayton Williams, and it is caught for a touchdown again. Ayton Williams, the big playmaker for the offense. All of a sudden, he is your weapon over there. He catches the pass about 7 yards in the end zone. It is touchdown time in Texas.
70 yards in receiving on 2 catches, both of them touchdowns. Just shows you his big playability. Centennial trying to claim there was a push-off there by Williams. I'm just not sure about that one.
And they're going to run the 2-point conversion here. Cameron Eubanks gets the toss, running over to the right side, and he's down. There's a flag down as well. But a 20-7 lead, and you're kind of wondering why.
It doesn't make sense. And then not only that, add another why. Why'd they run it the way they did where they had 3 guys taking on 4 when they had the line on the left side? So it'll be against McKinney, the penalty. And so, of course, that'll be declined. So North, it's a weird call. Really weird. I'm puzzled.
It is kind of a strange call, and they will decline that. It'll be 20-7 our score right now. 1:37 left before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Frisco Memorial Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Sappho. It was a 3-play, 76-yard drive. Ayton Williams, the playmaker, once again from Eric Herbal, on a 34-yard touchdown pass. It took 39 seconds off the clock. In McKinney North, you wanted a quick score before half. Well, you got one. 1:39 left on the clock. Blake Boblett's about to tee up this Beef O'Brady's kickoff.
You say you wanted a quick score, but that was almost a little too quick with 1.5 minutes left and Masikowski.
And the kickoff is going to be taken by an up man. Actually, it's going to be fair caught by McKinney, by Frisco Centennial's Chad Bliss.
Fair catch by number
So with a
20,
minute
Chad
36, Masakowski will probably come back on the field.
Ball at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, just got to watch out for Brandon Harrison. Total, Centennial's got 121 yards passing. Harrison has 100 of those yards. And there's only 5 receptions total, and he's got 3 of them. That's the guy you got to watch out for.
An update from McKinney. We have a new score of 14-6. Last score we got passed along to us. Justin Northwest up 7-0 over there in Fort Worth.
And that's at the halftime, too.
Battle of the Axe all knotted up 14 apiece. There's going to be a handoff. Washington up the middle, crosses the 30 out to the 32-yard line. A gain of 7. Bo Burns makes the stop.
Brandon Dunn.
Questioning that call because unless you get a first down, the clocks continue to run. So it looks like Centennial's going to be happy with that missed extra point opportunity. Pardon me, and take the kickoff to open up the second.
Second down and 4 from the 32-yard line. Frisco Centennial sends a man in motion. And this is Masakowski, the quarterback, the freshman. No, it's Butler. Butler throws the swing pass out. And he has his man caught at the 40, 45, out to the 40, out to the 50-yard line. And that's Agonzola who makes the catch and has the first down inside McKinney North territory before Martin Holmes brings him down. The ball will be spotted at the 49-yard line.
Brandon Harrison.
So a 29-yard pass play. That's Crosby Butler's first completion since the beginning of the game.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Frisco Centennial. Under a minute now, 57 seconds as Augensuna got out of bounds and stopped the clock. 2 receivers out to the left side. Brandon Harrison to the right. Watch him. Butler back to pass. Looking for Harrison. Throws it downfield. This is a fade route. Harrison catches it, but he's out of bounds. It was a great catch, but he went way up in the air but came down out of bounds and not even close. Cole Permetter was in position over there, playing that corner position, and there is a flag down back towards the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's on the far side, which could be a number of things, but Coyle Permetter got lucky there because that was not good coverage on his part. And with the way the Titans are clapping, it appears the penalty is against North, and it is offsides on the Bulldogs.
51 seconds on the clock. And the Bulldogs just giving them some more room right here to work with. The ball will now be at the 44-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 5. And Butler will send his troops back out in formation. Send 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Harrison to the right side. He's the man you got to watch. Butler fakes it over to the left side. Now throws it deep down the field. Has a man, and it is knocked away by Cameron Eubanks knocks it away. Brandon Dunn also there. He was trying to hit his wide receiver, that Michael Thompson, I think. And Mike Thompson he was trying to hit on that far side.
Yeah, it was just a slightly underthrown pass, and Eubanks well defended. This is a pretty well-rounded defensive effort so far by the Bulldogs. 3 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and now 2 pass defense. It's a pretty good job.
They will now send in, McKinney North brings in Ryan Selby-Carney, and Kirsten Williams will come in on 2nd down and 5. Butler wants to throw, has his man, and it is knocked away by Blake Boblitz. Boblitz comes over and makes a great play to just knock that one away. It was going to be caught by Harrison. Harrison was right there to bring it in, but Boblitz got his paw in there and knocked that one away. It'll be 3rd down and 5. 42 seconds on the second quarter clock.
Well, make it pass defense number 3 for this defense. Nice job. They're just doing a really solid job. You look at that 1 touchdown, a small breakdown for sure. But at the same time, they're playing really well.
2 receivers to the left, Brandon Harrison to the right. Fakes, pumps over there, now wants Harrison, and it is close to being sacked, and now he is sacked in the backfield. James San Miguel, but also right there was Zach Plummer, and give him the credit for the sack as Plummer was right in his face. That'll be 4th down and probably the last play of the half. There's 27 seconds on the clock, and a timeout has been called. We'll keep it right here as Frisco Centennial called the timeout. Or actually, North called the timeout.
Yeah,
North maybe trying to punch it in right here one more time right before the half. Why not? You got 27 seconds, and you might as well send Ayton Williams back out there.
Well, it could be a situation where you're risking a turnover but at the same time, I like aggressive play calling. So this is, I'm kind of borderline on the call, but he's putting faith in his players that they're not going to create a turnover or anything like that. So I like it. It gives them a chance to put more points up on the board. And you remember, they're fighting for not only themselves, but also for McKinney to make the playoffs. And these guys grew up together, a good chunk of them. So they're kind of doing them a favor, and at the same time, just hey, we're getting ready for the playoffs. We're pulling no punches.
It'll be 4th down and punting time for Frisco Centennial. Butler will move out of his quarterback position and back in punt formation. And back deep to receive the punt is Cameron Eubanks, and what a nice return this one would be if he can run this one back. He has 7 returns for 77 yards, and his longest is 32 yards on the season. Butler's punt is a very high one. It's not very good. It's going to be end over end, and everybody's trying to get away from it from McKinney North. It actually rolls backwards, and Mike Smith picks up the football for some reason, but it was okay because, he did recover it and he did secure it. So McKinney North will take over. 16 seconds on the clock, and that had to be, about a 1-yard punt, maybe even less?
No, it was 2. Come on now.
So
it took a bad bounce. You know what, though? I'm not going to blame them. That's actually smart because it stopped the clock. Because if they'd have let that just keep rolling, they would have been able to stand around it, and we would be under 10 seconds. So not a bad play.
That's a very good point.
So that's a good job. I'll give credit to Smith for that one.
Well, they will bring the first team out. And far deep is Cameron Buford, not Aiden Williams. Shotgun formation for Herbal. Low snap, brings it in, throws it out right side for Cameron Buford, and it's out of bounds. 11 seconds on the clock, and they took a long time stopping that clock. It rolled almost another full second before it went out of bounds, and they stopped the clock.
Goes out of bounds and incomplete.
It'll bring up second and 10 from the 48-yard line inside McKinney North territory. They're having to fight to go 52 yards here with 11 seconds. But they've got the right offense to do it. They are the potent type of offense who can put the ball in the end zone in certain situations like this. 2nd down and 10, 11 seconds left to go before half. Herbal in shotgun formation. Looks over to the sideline, gets the call, gets the snap, drops back 3 steps. One to throw it over the middle. Has his man David Douglas, and it is caught at the 25, down to the 20, inside to the 18-yard line. 4 seconds on the clock. And they have to stop the clock in order to move the chains. The ball is going to be placed at the 19-yard line, and a timeout has been called. We'll keep it right here. A nice call there, right over the middle.
33-yard pass play. Douglas got behind his defender but had to slow up a bit because the pass didn't hit him quite in stride. It had to slow him down about a half step, allowing the Titan defense to recover. And it's on the left hash mark, so if you're thinking of a possible field goal, and why not, that would get you back the extra point and a little bit more, making it basically a 3-possession game.
Well, Boblitz definitely has the leg for this. It would look to be about a 39-yarder, maybe even less, as the teams come back out on the field now. The ball is at the 19-yard line. So Boblitz will actually tee it up from the 26, so make it a 36-yard attempt. His longest so far this year has been 41, so this is within his range. He's had a 30, a 41, and a 29. One of his longer attempts here, but in his career, throughout his varsity career, he's definitely been very accurate from this 36-yard distance. The snap is back. It's on the tee. The kick is up. Plenty of leg and plenty of aim, and it is good. 23-7 as the clock runs out in the first half. McKinney North on top. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Right now, 23-7, and we'll see what all happens in the second half when what Sean Pratt decides to do. Some interesting things going on in District 9 4A. If it were to end right now, things look good for McKinney fans on all sides, as McKinney leads Lake Dallas 14-6 at the half. They may have even started the second half by now. McKinney actually coming out in a different look tonight. We haven't talked about this. Excuse me. As it looks like they might move over And McKinney fans, if you're listening back at MISD Stadium, you know this. But it looked like, from what I understand, they were going to move one of the linebackers, J.D. Dowling and Brandon Ogletree, one of those guys back in the backfield, and actually run a power eye set and let Chris Wimbish run right over Lake Dallas. And right now, I guess it's working, 14-6 over there at McKinney. We haven't got word on stats or anything like that, and we'll try to find out more as we go along. But also, Justin Northwest, last score we had 7-0 over Frisco, and let's hope that stands true. It is 21-7 now. Sherman on top of Denison in the Battle of the Axe, and I guess Sherman's offense is just a little bit better than or maybe Denison's defense is a little bit worse than Sherman's offense.
I thought at one point it was tied 14-all.
It was. It's 21-14 now.
Okay.
21-14 Sherman on top.
I misheard you.
Right now, 23-7. We should have the second half coming up in about 8 minutes or so. Right now, you're listening to McKinney ISD football on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Frisco Memorial Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. And we are now watching the highlighters come out from Frisco Centennial.
This is one of the greatest songs that a marching band of any kind can play. I love it when I hear a band play this.
And which one is this?
I don't know the name of it. Thanks for putting me on the spot there. I just love the tune.
I think I hear that from just about every high school marching band that I've ever covered, or high school team that I've ever covered. Their band plays this number just about every time. The McKinney North Bulldogs are coming back out in their end zone, doing a little calisthenics and warming up there and doing some lunges out there.
Well, we've got a half played, so now it's time to put the money where the mouth is. You know, the playoffs are on the horizon, and they've shown me at least enough through that first half, although they didn't look really good to start the first quarter, but that they're ready to go, hungry, and there's no doubt that they're not going to try to rig this one, just by what we saw in that first half.
I don't think there was any question.
There were some people saying, hey, they're going to try to lose intentionally, so they'll have to face Wilson. You know, and those who've played the game before, anytime you're a competitive football team, no matter if your next opponent could potentially be tough or not, you're not going to say, yeah, let's lose one. Competitive teams just don't do that.
You don't want to back your way into the playoffs by any means, especially when it's your first playoff trip. Now, right now, if everything ended the way it is right now at the half, McKinney North leading, Frisco losing to Justin Northwest, and McKinney leading over Lake Dallas, if it all ended right now the way it is, it would be Hebron, McKinney North, obviously have clinched the playoffs. They would be 7-0 in district. McKinney North would be 5-2. And then you would have a logjam of three teams at 4-3, McKinney, Frisco, and Justin Northwest. And by virtue of points, McKinney would be in the playoffs. And let's check down with Teddy Saffo down on the sideline.
Coach Pratt, what did you tell your kids at the half?
Well, defensively, we got to eliminate the big play. Gave them a couple big plays there. Other than that, I thought we played pretty solid. And we knew, they're a good defensive football team, and they gave us some fits early. Came out in some alignments we weren't expected and playing some techniques that made it tough on our run game. But I think we started kind of getting that ironed out. And I told them don't make the same mistake we made last week when we came out a little flat in the second half with a lead, and we gotta go come out right here and take care of business in the second half.
Coach, what do you tell your kids to try and keep them motivated for a second half?
Well, I mean, we've talked all week. We wanted to come out here tonight and perform well. If we're a playoff team, we want to play like a playoff team. We want to come out tonight and perform well and learn from the mistake we made last week coming out in the second half.
Coach, thank you for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy Saffo down on the sideline as he was talking to Coach Pratt. And just what he said, if you want to be a playoff team, you got to play like a playoff team. And he's trying to get his kids to get that mentality tonight and come out here talking about he had a little slow start with the first quarter. And Frisco Centennial, we talk about how young they are and how non-aggressive they are on offense, but we haven't yet talked about their defense. Their defense is not bad. They actually defensively are second in team defense in the district, only behind Hebron. They give up 278 yards per game, and that is ahead of Lake Dallas by 10 yards per game. That's ahead of Northwest by about 20 yards a game. And I tell you what, defensively, they play a pretty good ball game.
And yet somehow McKinney North is able to gained 291 yards in that first half, but I think a lot of that had to do with coverage issues.
Well, I think so, and a lot of it has to do with Eric Herbal and Ayton Williams and Chase Barrett.
That's 70 yards right there between Williams and Herbal.
You talk about the points that they score. McKinney North has scored 41 on Denison. They scored 45 on R.L. Turner. They scored 49 on Lake Dallas. They scored 31 on Frisco, 38 at Justin Northwest, and last week 58. That's putting up some points. And that's not anything new. McKinney North has always been able to score points, going back through their history.
Hebron, but then again.
But for the most part, they've always been able to score points. You know, that goes back to the very first game they ever played against Princeton when they put up 56 back in 2002. Now, obviously it was Princeton, but they showed that they could score. And they have done that every year, scoring 233 points the first year, 344 the second year. That's 34 points a game. They took it down a little bit last year, 28.9, but that's still 28 or almost 29 points a game. And then this year bumped it back up over 30 at 31.44. The difference in this football team is the defense, however. They're always going to be able to score points. They've always been able to do that. It may be you have to look at the system because they've always, they've always had great players, though, too. You look at Shannon Woods. He was a great running back. You also look at J.R. Housley last year, the playmaker on offense last year who could run it and catch it. This year, you've got Chase Barrett. It's a little bit different. Chase Barrett is so different than J.R. Housley because Housley could catch the ball out of the backfield. They always ran swing passes to him, dumped it off in the flats. Chase Barrett does not have a catch this year. Not one
amazing.
Catch.
Well, and that's, again, I'm not going to say that it's a system because you look at the most prominent it's a system school would be Texas Tech. Just look what their quarterbacks have done. I think Herbal's a good athlete. I think Chase Barrett, I think what it is you're seeing just the fact that Barrett doesn't have a catch. Maybe that's not his strong point, so they adapt the game plan. Just, hey, we're just going to give you the ball. You do what you do with your feet, and we'll see what we go from there. If you want to call that a system, that's great, but that's every coach's desire is just to be able to make those kind of calls like that where we can do this because this is what our strength is, and now you have to stop it.
We were sitting there talking about if you told me a year ago that you take away Leonard Barbosa and you take away J.R. Housley and you're a better offensive football team, I would have laughed and laughed and laughed. But you plug guys in like Eric Herbal and Chase Barrett, hey.
Herbal could be the difference. They may not have had the explosiveness that they have at quarterback who can just throw where he wants to almost with pinpoint accuracy.
Well, that's one thing. But Leonard Barbosa last year could throw the pass. He could throw the football. He also was a lot better on his feet. He could run the football anywhere he wanted to down the field. But the pocket presence of Herbal is just outstanding. It's just remarkable what he's been able to do in his short time here at quarterback and progress as the season went along.
And he's a junior.
That's right. The second half, Beef O'Brady's kickoff is about to be underway as Blake Boblitz is going to tee it up from the 40-yard line. 23-7, McKinney North on top here at Frisco Memorial Stadium. And I love the way they put $10 million into this press box about 5 years ago. This place used to be not one of my favorite places, but now it's right up there.
I have $10 million or a bank account they can put $10 million into.
Yeah, I'm sure the Frisco taxpayers would love to do that. The Brandon Helms Fund.
If they give me $10 million, I'll do whatever they want.
The Beef O'Brady's kickoff. Larry Lindsay is happy once again as this will be booted right down the middle. It's going to bounce up. It's going to be taken by Mike Thompson, who picks it up at the 10, cuts it outside to the 20, is close to the out-of-bounds marker, spins him once again, never does go down, but they're going to mark him at the 25-yard line. Still pretty good field position if you're McKinney North, pushing them back inside the 30, and that's not bad these days in high school football. The ball will be at the 26-yard line, starting out for Frisco Centennial at their own 26, 1st and 10, 11:52 left to go here in the third quarter, just underway.
Not the greatest of kicks. It was a low liner that was taken at the 10, but it was muffed initially, but Thompson just ran down the sidelines, and before he could get any further was gang tackled at about the 26.
Mosikowski will come out as the quarterback. 2 men in the backfield, Jones and Williams. Or actually not Williams, that's Washington. And Mosikowski's going to throw it out to the right side and has his man. It's caught. Is that Brandon Harrison? No, it's his other wide receiver, Agonzola, who makes the catch.
Yeah, he one-handed that one on the run going to the right side of the offensive formation at the 30. Was able to keep his balance and lunge forward for 2 yards before being tackled.
6-yard gain on the Elgonzola catch. 11:48 left to go, third quarter. McKinney North on top, 23-7. It'll be second down and 4. Moving left to right is Frisco Centennial. 2 men out wide left, 1 man right. They're going to hand off up the middle, Joe Cap. He runs left side now, crosses the 35 out to the 40 and flipped over end. And that's Bo Burns who makes him do a little dance out there. Flag down. Joe Cap had enough for the first down. We'll check the flag and see what that is. It's out there about where the tackle was made.
Generally a face mask. We'll wait and see. They're talking it over pretty hard.
Again, these are Dallas chapter officials, and it is going to be a holding call against Frisco Centennial, so wipe that one out.
Well, it's going to be one of those downfield holds, so it'll be marked from the spot of the foul, so Joe Cap will get a 9-yard carry before the 10-yard penalty moves it, the original line of scrimmage back a yard from the 32 to the 31.
So 11:41 left to go, third quarter. McKinney North on top, 23-7. It'll be second down and 5 for Frisco Centennial. Scores to pass along. Sherman on top of Denison, 21-14. McKinney on top of Lake Dallas, 14-6, and Justin Northwest leading Frisco 7-0. Second down and 5. This is Mosikowski, rolls right, wants to throw it down the field, has a man there, and Augustuna, and he makes the catch. Was he inbounds? No. They say he was out of bounds, and Algonzola made a nice catch over the shoulder, but couldn't stay in bounds for that one as Cole Permetter was on coverage.
No sack on this one for James San Miguel, but him and his teammate Justin Janow hit the freshman quarterback right as he was throwing, which caused that to drift a little bit. So another defensive pressure coming this time from a couple of the leaders on this defense.
This would be a huge play if you could really knock this one out. Third down and 5 for McKinney, or for Frisco Centennial rather. 11:21 left to go in the third quarter. 23-7 our score. McKinney North on top. Handoff. This is cross-buck action. Brandon Dunn brings him down short of the first down along with James San Miguel. Brandon Dunn came up and really popped the running back there, and I believe that was Washington who came up with the carry, and it was 11:07 and fourth down and punting time. We'll see which one punts. They've been switching them in and out, Butler and Mosikowski. This time Butler's going to come in and do the punting. And now Mosikowski doesn't leave the field. Now I guess they are going to switch. I don't understand that. What's the big deal about who gets to punt here?
Yeah, I would think you would want to put who's better out there, and I don't know that.
You'd think just find one and go with them, you know?
Maybe it's assist.
Well, that's why. They're going to try to fake it, and Butler wants to run. He's on the move, throws it down the field and out of bounds, and a lot of pressure there in the backfield, but there's a flag down. We'll have to check, see what it is. It was fourth down and 2. The fake punt was called, and Butler just rolled out to the right side.
Generally not a good idea to throw it out of bounds on a fourth down to avoid a sack. You may just try something. That was a doomed play from the get-go because there was some miscommunication there. Colin Banks was on the sideline, and coach were yelling at him to get in. He started to go in, and he was about 2-3 yards shy. And I think he was going to be one of the main components of that fake punt. And when he was slow to get out there, it didn't look like Butler had anybody to throw to, so he stood there looking around. Well, it was just a doomed play from the start.
Well, the defense is out for Frisco Centennial. It'll go over on downs to McKinney North, who will set up shop first and 10 at the Frisco Centennial 34-yard line. 10:33 left to go in the third quarter. 23-7. Handoff Barrett up the middle. No, he fakes it. Throws out to Eubanks over the left side. 25-20 and dragging him out down to the 16-yard line. And Brandon Harrison was the man on Cameron Eubanks' back. And he drug him down to the 15-yard line. First down and 10 for McKinney North. In business now.
Yeah, nice 19-yard pass play for the first play of your drive and of the half, which goes again to show this team not coming out lightly.
One receiver to either side. Cameron Eubanks in the slot to the right side. Jeff Olson will stand up in the slot on the left side. Shotgun formation for Herbal. Handoff, Chase Barrett. Nope, he's going to throw it this time out to Eubanks once again. Can't dodge Brandon Harrison this time as he brings him down after about a 2-yard gain out to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, the play worked once going to the left side, so they decided to try going to the right side. And this time that side of the defense for the Titans read it well and cover Eubanks pretty quickly.
2nd down and 8, 9:51 and rolling here in the third quarter. McKinney North on top, 23-7. Shotgun formation for Herbal, and this time he is going to hand off Barrett. Big hole down to the 7-yard line. For a second there, he had a huge gaping hole on the right side. Chad Bliss knocked it down as he came up from his strong safety position and denied Chase Barrett of a first down. Also there was Brent Holtrop.
And sometimes what the offense will do is it looks like it gives it off to Barrett and lets him hit where the hole is, because it looked like that might have been designed to go to the left side, but without hesitation, Barrett hit the hole on the right.
3rd and 2 from the 8. Barrett up the middle, getting and fighting his way down to the first down marker. Brent Holtrop makes a stop. It's going to be very close. Let's check down with Teddy Saffo. He's right there. Teddy, can you tell us what you see?
Looks like the referees, they are marking it right down at the 5-yard line, but they're tossing the ball around to see. It looks, from my standpoint, it looks like they're going to call it a first down.
And, Teddy, you are right on the mark. First down and goal from the 5-yard line.
Speaking of one guy who's gotten better as the years progress, nice job, Teddy.
Teddy is a grizzled veteran by these days. First down and goal from the 5-yard line. 8:57 and rolling here in the third. McKinney North on top, 23-7. Shotgun formation for Herbal. Sends a man in motion. That's Eubanks going to hand off to him. Running right tackle. Escapes one man. Trying to fight his way to the end zone and goes down at the 1-yard line. Chad Bliss comes up, makes the stop again. It's going to be 2nd and goal from about the 1.
Sometimes what runners like to do is try to hit the corner even though they have a hole up more toward the middle, and that's what looked to be the case there. Eubanks trying to get to that right side. However, one of his linemen, I believe on that side, it was Brett Davis, or rather not Davis, Coley Bryant setting up a hole, and he probably could have scored if he had cut it up inside.
Kirsten Williams comes in as the fullback. This is going to be a handoff. Barrett running right over him and runs into the end zone. It is touchdown time in Texas. And right now you have a 29-7 lead. 8:14 left to go third quarter. Awaiting this PAT, and what do you do right here? You got to kick the PAT here, right?
No, there's no question. Of course, I said that would have said that at the end of the last one. But good job there. Nice to see your offense doesn't come out flat to open up the second half. Things are firing on all cylinders, and this team looks like it's coasting into the playoffs. And a good coasting, not a bad coasting.
Boblett's on for the PAT. The snap is back. The kick is blocked. And it's going to roll out of the end zone. We'll try to see who got their hand up there. But regardless, right now it's 29-7. 8:14 left to go in the third quarter. McKinney North on top. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Frisco Memorial Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and crew. It was a 4-play and a 34-yard drive? 34-yard drive. I was trying to do bad math there.
That's what I do all the time.
2 minutes and 21 seconds on the clock, and 29-7 our new score after the 1-yard touchdown by Chase Barrett.
There goes the ball again.
Boblett's having some problems keeping that ball on the tee as the wind's blowing pretty good down there. 8:14 left to go here in the third quarter. McKinney North on top, 29-7. Not great news from McKinney. If you're a Lions fan, as we just got a new score, Blake Boblett is going to tee up the Beef O'Brady's kickoff, and this was a pretty good one. Aaron Jones is going to take it on a line drive at the 4-yard line, crosses the 15, out to the 20, cuts it back inside, dragging a man down, and he finally does at the 22-yard line. There's a flag down, and we'll sort that out. And as we do, I'll tell you about McKinney over at MISD Stadium. It is now tied up. Lake Dallas and McKinney 14-14 all. Denison trying to catch up with Sherman 21-17 in the third quarter. And that was at Bearcat Stadium in Sherman. And over in Fort Worth, Justin Northwest holding off Frisco 7-0.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Some nail biters going on in North Texas, as all of these are great ones. The only blowout going on is the one we're at, 29-7, 8:07 left to go in the third quarter. And this one is going to go against Frisco Centennial, isn't it?
Yeah, just an illegal block in the back. And it's a nice 10-yard penalty. They had been relatively penalty-free. The first half, only 2 penalties for 15 yards. And that's their first one, and it comes before they even have their second offensive possession.
Well, the Centennial Titans will come back out on the field. The ball is going to be placed at the 12-yard line, and they have 88 yards to go to get pay dirt. They're down 29-7. They have plenty of time, though. 8:07 left to go, third quarter. Man in motion, that's Brandon Harrison. The quarterback is going to be Butler. He's going to hand off to Washington up the middle, and he's cut down immediately by Ryan Selby-Carney, who comes up from his defensive tackle position. The 6'2", 200-pound junior came up and made the stop, along with, I think Kirsten Williams was right there. Of course, Kirsten Williams is everywhere. He's a big kid.
Yeah, he's one of the reasons this defense is so much better. He's exactly what they need up the middle, a run stopper. And you saw him at his best when he was facing Chris Wimbish in the first half of that crosstown showdown at the end of September. He's a good one.
He might have been best a moment ago at that fullback position facing Logan Kirby as he blasted out that hole for Chase Barrett to run through. And Kirsten Williams in the backfield. That's Refrigerator Perry type stuff. Shotgun formation and another flag down. Butler throws it out, the swing pass out to his man Mike Thompson, who makes the catch. Again out to the 14, core perimeter in coverage, makes the stop, but we'll check the flag and see what that is. It's kind of getting sloppy now down here. Brandon, you can't yawn.
Well, these flags, man.
It's a little early for yawning. It's not quite a yawner yet, but it could be in a hurry.
Legal shift on Frisco Centennial.
I will guarantee you one thing. Right now, there's somebody listening to our broadcast over at MISD Stadium, and they are far from yawning right now.
I wish I was there. That sounds like that's a good game brewing. Oh, they declined the penalty.
It'll be third down and 9, I guess, from the 14-yard lines where they'll place it.
Wow, that's faith in your defense right there.
Butler will go up under center this time. One man to either side. One man in the backfield is Washington. And Walker goes in motion. Handoff Washington up the middle. I thought another flag was down, but he does break a tackle out to the 18 and now crosses the 20-yard line and brings number 20 with him, James San Miguel. Not enough for the first down. It'll be a couple of yards short. So fourth down and punting time for Frisco Centennial. 6:49 and rolling here in the third.
So, again, the defense comes up fairly nice, although Centennial did a lot to shoot themselves by first having the illegal block on the kickoff and then having just a weird pass last time out. 29-7, our score here in Frisco, as it was quite the opposite a week ago here. They're going for it.
They are going to go for it. What in the world? 4th down and 2, shotgun formation. I knew that was something. It was going to be the quick kick, and he does. He punts it away. It takes a great Frisco Centennial hop all the way down to the 35, I call it the 36-yard line in McKinney North territory, and that's where the Bulldogs will take over with 6:09 left to go here in the third quarter.
A nice 44-yard punt.
Kind of a ho-hum start to this second half. It was kind of a ho-hum start to the first half as well, although Chase Barrett and company have gotten in the end zone so far in this first 6 minutes, but it's just been, I guess the word tonight is lethargic. I hate to use it over and over and over, but it seems like that's kind of the term to use tonight. That's the way they're playing.
That second quarter wasn't that lethargic for them, so they played well there, but this game's pretty much on cruise control.
1st and 10, handoff. Chase Barrett up the middle, gets 5 yards, as he does just about every time. Crosses the 40 out to the 41-yard line. And it's going to be Brandon Wood coming over from the linebacker position and making the stop. It'll be second down and about 5. 29-7, McKinney North on top. 5:52 left to go, third quarter. And if you heard that from our crowd, Mike, Northwest trying to help out McKinney 10-0 over Frisco. And this will be Herbal throwing out to Max Butler, who makes the catch. Not going to be for a lot of yards, maybe one, as Brian Benaves and Brent Halltrop make the stop. It was a nice catch out in the flats, but right there where the Frisco Centennial defenders, there's a man down, and we'll check and see who that is. It's Logan Kirby who's down. He's being attended to by the trainers over there on that near side. So everybody's doing their part so far right now in District 9-4A to help out the McKinney Lions, yet the McKinney Lions are the ones that are not helping themselves out. They're tied 14-14. All is not lost by any means. But, man, you'd love to see McKinney go out and just knock them out. And they're not doing so right now. 14-14. Right here, McKinney North is on top, 29-7. McKinney North is taking care of their side of the bargain. Justin Northwest right now is taking care of their side of the bargain. You just got to see McKinney step it up. And maybe we'll hear that Chris Wimbish ran a 79-yard touchdown run or something like that.
Oh, he can do it. He's the one who can.
It'll be 3rd down and 3.
At any given moment, at anywhere on the field, Chris Wimbish can go. And that's what the McKinney Lions need right about now. On 29-7 here, 14-14 over there in McKinney ISD Stadium. 2 receivers to the right side, 1 to the near side, shotgun formation. Chase Barrett gets the handoff, rumbling and bumbling his way past the first down marker out to the midfield stripe. Matt Crook makes a stop for Frisco Centennial, but tell you what, Chase Barrett's racking up yardage close to, well, they're going to spot it just shy of the midfield stripe now at the 49.
20 carries, 140 yards to this point in the game for Barrett. He's also accumulated 2 touchdowns. 140.
Wow.
140.
First down and 10 for McKinney North. It is David Douglas and Aiton Williams on the receiver slots on the far side, and Max Butler and the slot. This is going to be swing out past to Butler, and he is nailed. He is absolutely destroyed by Brian Benes, who read that play from the initial time that Herbal wanted to throw to him.
Well, the coaching staff is griping out Aiton Williams there on the far side for missing that block and really hanging Butler out to dry.
Well, Butler really took a shot right in the chest. And as soon as he caught the ball, it's very fortunate that he even hung onto the ball. He was absolutely drilled. Man, that's like that Eddie Morgan hit we saw last week. Whew. 2 receivers to either side, Herbal in shotgun formation on 2nd down and 13. 4:12 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Man in motion, they're going to fake it to him. Herbal wants to throw. Great pass out to Jeff Olson. The tight end has the first down out to the 40-yard line. Danny McDonald stays over the cornerback and has to tackle Olson, and I feel for anybody who has to tackle Olson. And they're going to call a first down there at the 40-yard line. And what a great play call that was. Just they sent out everybody to the left side, moving everybody over. And Herbal just turned around and found Olson all by himself. And it wasn't for McDonald, that one would have gone a long way.
6 receivers have now caught an Eric Herbal pass of some variety or another.
It's going to be a handoff. Barrett once again running left tackle. Breaks 1 tackle, makes a man miss, goes down to the 34-yard line. Another 5-yard gain for Barrett. It is Evan Vanderpool who comes up and makes the stop for Frisco Centennial. And reaffirming the score, 14-14, McKinney and Lake Dallas. Right here, 29-7, McKinney North over Frisco Centennial. 3:22 left to go in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 5 after the 5-yard Chase Barrett run, which he seems to always get. And shotgun formation. This is the one they fumbled on. This time it's a good pitch from Herbal as he's destroyed, but he pitches to Barrett, who gets the ball out to the 31-yard line, and now a late flag comes in from way back around Eric Herbal. Herbal is always a quiet guy, but something must have been said right there because the official was standing right by Eric Herbal when he threw that flag.
Could be he saw something down the way toward the pile, too, something that shouldn't have been what he shouldn't have been seeing. It's against McKinney in some form.
You'd hate to think that it was Eric Herbal because he's one of those guys that never says a word. He's one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet. Probably wasn't. It was probably something else, but
unsportsmanlike conduct, possibly.
Nonetheless, it's a penalty against McKinney North, and they'll back it up to the 46-yard line.
2nd down and 15, ball marked back at the.
And now it'll be 2nd down and 16 with 3 minutes left to go, 3rd quarter. And now whistles blow again. And this is starting to get rather sloppy and rather ugly here. Our score is 29-7. McKinney North on top. 2:58 left to go, 3rd quarter. The officials are talking about something right at the 46-yard line, which is the line of scrimmage.
They had to get the down straightened up because they had it at 2nd down, and it should have been 3rd down. because it was after the play.
Max Butler in the slot on third down. Jeff Olson on the near slot. Eric Herbal clapping his hands, ready to get the play in. Chase Barrett in the backfield. David Douglas near side. Ayton Williams to the far side. Herbal stands about 6 yards, maybe 5. Behind the center, Ryan Burke gets the snap. Looks over to the right side. Now looks to the middle. Steps up in the pocket. Throws it over the middle. Ayton Williams. And you believe it? No, he dropped it. Ayton Williams saw his third touchdown right in his arms, and he dropped this one right at the 3. Wow.
I don't think he watched the ball in. I think it just went through his arms.
Well, when you already have 2 touchdowns on what looks like the very same play.
Probably was.
Ayton Williams couldn't come down with this one, and it'll be 4th down and punting time, and that was a sure touchdown. He had his man beat. All he had to do was make the catch, and he had a couple of steps before he went in the end zone, but he couldn't hang on to that one. And that was one of those long passes, too. You got a lot of time to think about it as it's coming in, and that one just went off his fingertips. Low snap, and Brandon Dunn picks it up, punts it away, and the ball is going to bounce at the 16-yard line, take a huge hop, and roll out at the 6-yard line. Another great punt by Brandon Dunn, who's been perfect placing the ball tonight on his punts.
Second 40-yard punt. Beautifully done. First time he hit 40, it went down at the 1. This time around, it went to the 6, but check everything with the potential flag. It could change.
There's a flag at the 22-yard line. Teddy, what are you seeing down there? What is your perspective of the third quarter?
Pretty impressed with this McKinney Bulldogs, seeing them come out with a little bit of fire and intensity, knowing that they have to put this game away and try and get some momentum towards the playoffs. But I also wanted to comment on that blocked field goal. Actually, if you think this team is letting down, they're not. The coaches are coaching all the way right now. One of the coaches got on to Ryan Burke and Brett Davis for allowing one of the up guys through the middle to allowing them to block that field goal. Even though this game's not perfect, they're trying to sign up a few things before they get into the playoffs right now. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy. And 2:25 left to go here in the third quarter, Brandon.
Personal foul on that last punt by the Centennial Titans, which is a half the distance to the goal, so personal foul for only 3 yards.
Ball's going to be placed at the 3-yard line. That's where Frisco Centennial will start. Mosikowski rolls out. Now he's under pressure, has to tuck it up, and he's going to be sacked, I believe.
Nope.
Nope, they're going to give him forward progress out to the 1. Micah Moore came up and made the stop for McKinney North, and Moore dragged him around the waist, and I thought for a second that Mosikowski was going to be sacked for a safety there for a second.
Well, he was able to get out to the 1-yard line before being hit into the end zone, but it's where the longest point of the run before being knocked back is where it goes. It's a good call down at the 1-yard line. And you just hope your defense can sack him again for a 2-yard loss.
These guys have some great names. Mosikowski on defense. They have Ni'ama Alina. Some great football names. Shotgun formation. Mosikowski under pressure now rolls out and passes it to the left side. He's going to tuck it and run. Has a 10, has the 15, 20. Looking for the corner and down at the 25-yard line. He was tripped up over there by Bo Burns. But it's enough, well enough for the first down, about a 20-yard gain, 23-yard gain, something like that.
Well, it was at the 1, and he got out to the 25, so 24. He had a negative 19 to this point of the game, so that erases all the negative yardage accumulated in sacks.
25-yard line is where the ball is spotted. Another 75 for the score is what Frisco Centennial needs. And 1:19 on the clock here. We're heavily anticipating another McKinney score from MISD Stadium, waiting to see what that one is. 29-7 here, McKinney North on top. This is going to be Mosikowski rolling out right side. He's under pressure, being chased down, throws it down the field. Nobody there. It's out of bounds. It's not out of bounds. It actually does land in bounds, but no one was around it. Mosikowski was just throwing that one away.
Actually, he was going for T.J. Ugunsola, but as he threw, T.J. quit on the route, and it was overthrown. And because he wasn't continuing to run downfield, which you should never quit on the route when your quarterback's scrambling out there, because he may throw it to you at any time.
57 seconds on the third quarter clock. There was a flag on the play. It was holding against McKinney North.
Automatic first down.
So that will move the ball on out. past the 30 on to close to the 40-yard line, or right at the 35-yard line, rather. A 10-yard penalty with 57 seconds left to go before the fourth quarter. Frisco Centennial moving left to right. Mosikowski has played a lot of this game tonight. The freshman, they're trying to give him, I guess, a lot of the snaps. I think they've figured out who they're going to go with from now on.
Well, Butler did have the last series, so they may just keep rotating.
Mosikowski throws the swing pass out to Brandon Harrison, who makes one man miss, but then fumbles, and now they're going to say the ball is incomplete. That one was very close. He had the ball for quite some time, actually made one man miss, and the ball popped out, and I believe it was Kenny Alexander who came over there.
Well, he may have been juggling it. We don't know because he had it back to us. So you have to have control of it. And judging by the quick reaction, because the line judge on our side did initially call it, but the far side and the back judge called it. So that's what I'm assuming. He kept juggling it until he eventually dropped it.
And that's probably right, because you're right. We did have our back to him. Or he had his back to us.
We're not turning our back to
I don't want
right
to turn
now.
my back on. Two receivers to either side, shotgun formation. Mosikowski rolls and drops back and wants to throw it out and has his man caught. That's Augusuna, and he's over to the near side, and Martin Holmes brings him out of bounds at the 48-yard line after a nice play there of about 15 yards. And that'll pick up the first down for Frisco Centennial.
Officially going to be a 17-yard pass play. That's T.J. Ogunsola's third catch for 52 yards, and it also puts Ryan Mosikowski up pretty close to the 150-yard mark. He's still about 11 yards shy.
Ball's at the 48-yard line in McKinney North territory. 33 seconds and rolling here in the third quarter, awaiting the fourth quarter. Shotgun formation for Mosikowski. He pumps it, now throws it down the field and has his man, and is caught for a first down at the 36-yard line. It's going to be close, but I think they're going to have enough. And it was Bo Burns in coverage and makes the stop. They're going to actually mark it at the 37, and yes, they're going to move the sticks.
Another Titan first down. Ball will be marked at the 38-yard line. Make that the 37-yard line.
22 seconds on the clock in the third quarter. McKinney North on top, 29-7. Frisco Centennial trying to fight for another score here. Ball at the 37-yard line in McKinney North territory. First down and 10. It's going to be a handoff up the middle to LaRon Washington. Washington has a couple, and now goes down by Jeremy Nelson. Nelson makes the stop, and that will be the end of the third quarter. It is fourth quarter time in Texas, 29-7. McKinney North on top of this one. We'll try to get a McKinney score for you back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Well, are the McKinney North Bulldogs tough enough? The Frisco Centennial Titans may not be, as they try to complete that third down conversion there, and they throw it out to their favorite receiver, Brandon Harrison, and he drops it. So that'll bring up, I thought that was going to bring up fourth down. This brings up third down, doesn't it? I think it is third down and 8 now. 11:56 left to go in this game. 29-7. McKinney North on top here. We just got a score from McKinney, and it's not good. 21-14. Lake Dallas in the lead there. It's a final. Justin Northwest beat Frisco 10-0. This is Mosikowski in all kinds of trouble. Throws it, and it's almost picked off by Brandon Dunn, but it just hops him a little bit short. It was all kinds of pressure on by Kenny Alexander back in the backfield, and that's why the errant pass was thrown. And now it's fourth down, 4th and 8.
Yeah, not a good series there for the Centennial Titans. Well, it's not over yet, I shouldn't say, but right now they're having trouble blocking, and McKinney North's not doing anything special, but they seem to get a couple of white shirts in the backfield just about every play when they're trying to set up a pass. That's not good.
Mosikowski in the backfield along with his running back, Washington. And he wants the snap, gets it, wants to throw. He's under pressure once again, steps up in the pocket, has to elude some tacklers, gets down to the 35, down to the 25-20. down to the 21, or actually the 16-yard line. There's all kinds of North Bulldogs there. There's a flag down, and we'll have to check and see what it is.
Well, I can tell you it's going to be a holding on Centennial right around the first down marker where Masakowski was doing his juking around. It caused one of his blockers to get out of position, and whenever you do that, you got a good chance of becoming a hold. So now I don't know what's going to happen. I think they're going to get to replay the down, but they're not going to get a first down on the play.
There were only a couple of minutes left in that McKinney and Lake Dallas game. Lake Dallas was on top 21-14, the last score we got. And if everything plays out right now with Justin Northwest beating Frisco and McKinney North winning here and Lake Dallas winning over at McKinney, that would mean Lake Dallas is the third team in the playoffs.
What about that? Man. If you would have told me that at the beginning of the year, I'd have thought that'd be crazy. Of course, North didn't have a lot of success in the past either, and all of a sudden they're doing well. So, stranger things.
3 receivers to the near side. Masakowski sends 1 receiver to the right. 4th down. Rolls back, wants to throw, has plenty of time, throws it down the middle, pushing and grinding, going down, and a flag is down, and it is incomplete. But I think there's going to be something going on there. On the coverage for McKinney North was I don't have a number 13.
Well, I think that they're going to get whoever number 2 is. I don't have that one either.
For
McKinney North.
Well, that's Cameron Buford.
I'm looking, although maybe I missaw the number because he's not on the field at the time. But whoever was in coverage there, I guess it might have been a 13. It didn't turn his back on the coverage. He was just roughing up. And anytime you don't turn around the ball, you're going to get called for that every time. Every time.
Well, what that does is gives Frisco Centennial new life and a first down inside the 20 at the 19-yard line. And this is the 9th play of their drive here. 11:22 left to go before the end of the game. It's 29-7. McKinney North has handled this game pretty easily, but they haven't played a real clean game. They've just kind of been
not in the second half.
Here's a swing pass out, and it's going to be caught down to the 15, down to the 12-yard line, and that's Augensola who makes the catch. He's had a pretty good night tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be his 4th catch, and it'll be right around 60 yards waiting for the spot in total receiving.
They're going to mark it at the 13-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and about 4, under 11 minutes now. 2 receivers go out wide right. And now they'll send another receiver out there. Masakowski is going to hand off up the middle to Washington, who makes his way down to the 10-yard line. So a 3-yard gain for LaRon Washington, stopped by Colton Floyd. Colt 45, if you will.
No, I'll take that. I like that.
3rd down and about a yard to go. McKinney North ended up with a fairly good crowd on that far sideline. It started off a little slow, but then they packed them in a little bit. All tight here, 3rd down. Double tight set. Masakowski wants to keep it. Rolls around the right side, has the first down, crosses the 5 down to the 3. It's going to be knocked down there on that far side. It'll be 1st and goal from about actually the 2, and we'll give Brandon Dunn the credit on the stop.
And no penalty.
An 8-yard gain by Masakowski on the quarterback keeper around the right side will give Frisco Centennial a 1st and goal situation. I really think that Masakowski is going to be the future.
Yeah, he looks really good. And that rushing first down is only the 4th of the game for Centennial to this point. They have 6 through the air and 2 on penalty.
Be 1st and goal. Masakowski wants to run the quarterback sneak. He's not going to get it. He is pounced right up there by that defensive front. Kirsten Williams comes up big, makes a stop there. Also, Kenny Alexander trying to come over the top with 9:23 left to go in this football game. 29-7.
They're going to give him credit for a yard, but I don't know if he even got that. And it looked more like maybe a stop at the line of scrimmage. But, all right, they're going to move it back to give him only half a yard. All right, that's a better spot.
And this is the 13th play of this drive. Again, McKinney North gave them life on a 4th down play on a penalty, and this is going to be a toss. Left side, that's Washington, and he is into the end zone for the touchdown. 29-13, our new score right now. Wait. There's a flag.
Oh, of course.
8:55 left on the clock here, and for a moment it's 29-13. Let's check it.
Next time I say it's been a relatively penalty-free game to start the second half, make sure I don't. Turn the mic off or something because it's just gone crazy. Both teams had 2 penalties in their half. Right now, before this penalty, it's a Titan offense, or rather a Titan team that's got 5 total, but a McKinney tie that's got 8. And this one is a personal foul on McKinney.
Yeah, face mask.
So that's going to be after the spot of the foul, so that one's going to count. Now 9 penalties for 85 yards for the Bulldogs.
Give LaRon Washington credit for a 2-yard touchdown there.
And they're still having problems on special teams. They don't have nowhere near enough people out there.
Well, they just started the play clock, so they're going to have time to get things sorted out.
Right, there's that penalty downtime.
And now they'll huddle up, and we'll see what they do here. As Mosikowski's still in the game, they're going to go for 2.
Why not? It brings it, make it a 15-point game.
29-13, our score right now, and now a timeout's been called. We'll take 1, too. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Going for 2 here is Frisco Centennial. They give it to LaRon Washington. No, Mosikowski keeps it. He rolls around the right side and wants to throw it in the end zone, and it's caught for the 2-point conversion. On the catch for Frisco Centennial is, I don't have a number for him either.
I'm going to go out on a limb and trying to listen to what the public address announcer said. Alex Canadian, possibly?
We'll go with that.
But that was a trick play. What happened is the quarterback initially gave it out to LaRon Washington, the tailback, but then as Washington comes back, it looks like he collides a little bit with Mosikowski, the quarterback, but it wasn't an accident. It was done purposefully to give Mosikowski the ball. However, the defensive secondary didn't bite. Mosikowski just had a good pass, threaded in between a couple of defenders for the 2-point conversion to, I guess, Canadian.
We'll call it Canadian. All right. The call we didn't want to make was over to Rod Casper at the MISD Stadium, and he gave us the unfortunate news that McKinney has lost tonight to Lake Dallas 24-14. It's a final. McKinney is out of the playoffs. Lake Dallas, by virtue of their win and the Justin Northwest win over Frisco, is now the 3rd team in the playoffs, and that is absolutely unbelievable.
Well, here's what Lake Dallas needed to get in before the start of the night. They needed to win. They needed McKinney North to win, so maybe they still have a chance to be knocked out. Who knows? And they needed Frisco to lose by 5 or more. So they needed a couple of teams to win, a couple of teams to lose, and one of them to do it by a certain point total.
And McKinney has about 1,000 more kids in their school, in their high school, than Lake Dallas. Lake Dallas has 907. McKinney has, or 946 rather. McKinney has 1,907. Lake Dallas by far the smallest school in the district.
Shouldn't that be 5A then? Isn't like the 5A limit 15?
1907 for McKinney, 1886 for McKinney North, 1878 for Hebron. And if you're wondering why are we talking about that, it's because Division I, Division II type system. And
the largest school goes to Division I, and the 2 smaller schools go to Division II.
And what that means here is McKinney North on the field tonight will go against Dallas Hillcrest, which in effect you want if you're McKinney North. Here's the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. It's a short one, and the flag is down, and they'll sort this one out. Somebody probably jumped off sides. But Dallas Hillcrest is going to be the first-round matchup for McKinney North, and that's a lot better than looking at the alternative with Woodrow Wilson.
Well, and for the onside kick here, just go off sides real quick. Cameron Buford recovered the onside kick, so it looks like McKinney North's in good shape no matter what the penalty.
Let's talk down to Teddy Saffo down on the sidelines. Teddy, does anybody down there know the final score of the McKinney yet, or is anybody talking about that down there? And do they know they're facing Dallas Hillcrest next week? Or did anybody say anything?
Are you saying anything?
Teddy can't hear us apparently down there, and we'll talk to him later and see if he's listening in on those coaches. It's going to be first down and 10 for McKinney North, moving left to right now. 8:55 left to go in the fourth quarter. They're going to hand off Chase Barrett, big hole up the middle, and he's knocked down at the 48-yard line. He was knocked down by Chad Bliss, who's been knocking him down all night. It's good for Frisco Centennial, or Chase Barrett would have a lot of touchdowns tonight because Bliss has saved a couple of them. That was one right there.
And right now he's just taking time off the clock, and that's what McKinney needs, because you don't want to get a first down right away almost, because that stops the clock. So you get a big gainer, and then on second down run a play, you're in good shape.
They are taking a lot of time off the clock, as they should. 8:22 left to go, and they're going to send a man in motion. That's Eubanks. Going to hand it off to him, and he's clocked right at the 47-yard line. Chad Bliss comes up and pops him once again, and Bliss has played one heck of a game.
Yeah, simple little end around there, but you got to give credit to Bliss. That's a formed tackle. And if all the time the defenders made a formed tackle, you'd see a lot more hits like that. But at this level, you see him try to run and scratch and grab a jersey to bring him down, but Bliss is in perfect position there and kept his feet set nicely.
They just started the play clock, so you got to be happy if you're McKinney North. 7:47 and rolling here. Third down and about 2.5. And they're going to hand off Barrett, running left tackle, and he barrels his head down and has the first down at the 49-yard line. He runs over Brent Halltrop to get it.
And see, now that Barrett got the first down, I could say this. It was good that Eubanks didn't get the first down, because that allowed the clock to run some more, because they didn't have to set the chains. So that just took time off the clock while they had to set the ball. Now the clock has stopped, and it won't start till about right now. That's how much time they could have been taken off the clock if they hadn't got the first down.
29-15 our score here. McKinney North on top of Frisco Centennial. First down and 10, handoff. Chase Barrett running right guard this time. Drags 2, 3, 4 members of Frisco Centennial with him. Brent Halltrop was the first one there, but he's going to get 3 yards, 4 yards, and now mark him at the 44-yard line.
Well, he's come true to what we call him up here in the booth, 5-yard Barrett. That was a 5-yard gain, and right now if you get 5 yards every play, you'll end this game pretty quickly.
Oh, what a game must be going on right now in Sherman. 21-17 entering the fourth quarter. Sherman on top. Here's Barrett, rumbling and stumbling for more down to the 42-yard line. You know, in high school football, Max Marr comes up and makes the stop there. In high school football, it doesn't get much better than two rival teams, two rival towns, just going nose-to-nose against each other. And the longest-standing rivalry in the state of Texas taking place tonight up in Sherman, where Sherman taking on Denison. And the Battle of the Axe is something special. Here's a handoff to Barrett, wanting that first down, and not going to be. He's going to be denied, rather. And Chad Bliss comes up, makes the stop once again, and Barrett's going to bring up fourth down.
When you talk about that Sherman-Denison game, and you hit it right on the head, it's not just a rivalry game between two football teams, but it is a city rivalry. I mean, those two have a rivalry like Dallas and Fort Worth have, and that's represented in the only school in each of those towns. I mean, it's a rivalry beyond just a high school football game.
You know, the two towns have hated each other since about the 1880s when they got the railroad going in there. They were both positioning themselves for the railroad. Denison won out for a while. Here's Brandon Dunn's punt is going to bounce at the 21, roll down to about the 12-yard line, and it's going to go out of bounds there. So Brandon Dunn has been perfect once again as he places them inside the 20 back to, I believe, the 11s where they're going to spot it.
Once again, don't forget.
About a 30-yard punt, not one of his better ones, but when you're working with the limited field position like he has there, you're not going to get a boomer. And he puts him just outside the 10, down to the 11 officially, so technically a 29-yard punt, I guess. But the same thing is, you're still not working with a lot of field position.
We want to confirm that Lake Dallas is the third playoff team, so we might get our studio technician to call Rod Casper once again and just confirm that that's the case. Because I don't think there's any way that it's not, but I just want to make sure before we go on the air saying that Lake Dallas is in. Here's going to be Butler is going to hand off to his tailback there, and not much doing on first down for Frisco Centennial. He'll get out to the 11-yard line, and that was the actual line of scrimmage, so going nowhere.
Well, the McKinney defense still hasn't let up. Those that dog pound defense doing exactly what they need to do, and that's just stop them. At the line of scrimmage, get some penetration in, and they are.
You know, True Image Productions handles all of the video for both the McKinney Lions and the McKinney North Bulldogs. We want to talk to our True Image Production player of the game, and Brandon, we'll talk about who that is later on. Here's the shot.
Good choices.
Here's the shotgun. Batted down at the line of scrimmage by McKinney North, and coming up there for McKinney North is Micah Moore. Moore sticks his big palms up in the air and bats that one away. It'll be 3rd down and 10. It's pretty much all over but the crying for Frisco Centennial, don't you think?
Yeah, stat on the defense, the total, there's been 5 sacks and 4 pass defense. But now Micah Moore is the only one who's recorded a stat in both. Just to show you how active he's been, and there's also been a couple of fumble recoveries in the mix. It's been just a good, solid performance tonight from this North defense.
3 receivers to the near side, and the quarterback wants to throw. Butler is sacked now in the backfield. McKinney North swallows him up behind the line of scrimmage, and back there for McKinney North,
Jeremy Nelson.
Yeah, you're right. Jeremy Nelson coming up big.
6 sacks. I'm starting to run out of room on the stat sheet here to record all of it. You know, granted, that's only going to be a 1-yard sack, but still, you know. That's just – oh, no, I'm sorry. It's going to be about a 3-4 yard sack. They're very active tonight, and you got to like to see that.
29-15, McKinney North on top. 4:10 left to go in this football game. Shotgun formation, and they're going to punt it away. Butler just boots it away, and he should have just tried to take it down the field because it was a pretty poor kick. It's going to be marked dead at the 33-yard line in Frisco Centennial territory. And you'd think they'd have somebody that could punt. Well, better than what they've had so far tonight.
What I'm thinking is that the coach for the Centennial Titans likes to just have his quarterback be the guy who is the punter. And I'm not sure that that's Mark Howard's system or not, but I'm just wondering because every time Masikowski's been in, he's punted.
Hey, Mark Howard probably grew up a Danny White fan.
Who couldn't be?
1st and 10, 4:01 left to go. Herbal throws the swing pass out to Max Butler, who catches it, crosses the 30 and out of bounds at the 26-yard line. I'd like to see Max Butler try to hang on and stay in bounds there. But
he was being dogpiled by 3 Titans, and that would have been tough because he's not the biggest of guys on his own.
One of them, Brian Benace, and the other, Brandon Harrison, pushing him out of bounds. 3:54 left to go in this football game. 29-15, McKinney North on top. It'll be 2nd down and about 6. I don't say 6. The scoreboard says 6. I'm going to call it about 4.5, maybe 5.
A long 4. I mean, whatever.
Oh, bad snap over the head of Herbal. Brings it down, and he is sacked in the backfield. Once he turned around from bringing that ball down, he had nowhere to go. And Aaron Luna, I believe, is the guy who made the sack, and he was.
Besides a tackle, Aaron Luna is now the first defender of this Centennial defense to record a stat.
To record a stat?
Yeah, besides tackles, he's the first one to get anything.
Wow.
Because all they had been doing is getting tackles. Oh, I take that back. There was the fumble recovery back in the first half, so he's the second one. Dump what I just said.
2nd down. It's going to be about 2nd down and 12.
There was a penalty of an illegal procedure.
Oh, yeah. It'll be 3rd down.
And on McKinney North, and it was declined, obviously.
So 3rd down and about 12 from the 35-yard line in Frisco Centennial territory. Play clock down to 17, waiting to get the play in here. Clock's rolling at 3:29.
Let it roll, yeah.
And North finally gets the play in. They're going to send a man in motion. They're going to fake it to him, fake it to Barrett. Now wants to throw it down the field. Has his big tight end. Olsen makes the catch at the 20 and rolls down to the 18-yard line.
And stayed in bounds.
Somehow stayed in bounds. I guess his knee hit right before he slid out. A nice pass and catch there.
17 yards.
So inside the 20 now, 3:16. Clock should be rolling as soon as they set the markers. And now it starts, 3:11. Here we go. First down and 10 for McKinney North. They're just trying to chew up this clock and eat things up. It's 29-15. And McKinney North is going to cruise on into the playoffs for the first time next week.
Oh.
And another flag. This is getting really sloppy.
I've seen pigs cleaner than this.
Procedure indicated against the Bulldogs. That'll back them up.
But when you go into the playoffs and you're in cruise control, I guess you can do what you like.
2:55 here in the fourth quarter, 29-15. McKinney North on top. Again, the good news for McKinney North, they will be playing Dallas Hillcrest in the first round of the playoffs. Here's a handoff to Barrett, and he's in all kinds of trouble, and he goes down behind the line of scrimmage. It's Brandon Wood who comes up and makes the stop. And they're going to give him forward progress out to the 26-yard line, maybe the 27. And with 2:25 left to go in this game, this has turned out to be quite a yawner.
Well, the end, you'd think with just a 14-point game.
You knew this one was pretty much over at the half, though. I mean, you really knew that.
Yeah.
Frisco Centennial has not had that much explosive power on offense whatsoever. They only scored 135 points all year coming into this game. And guess what, Brandon?
Lord.
Another flag or whistles blow right before the play.
Yeah, the line judge did the flag on the far side there. And it's against McKinney. Do we have second-teamers in there? I don't think so.
No, Barrett is still in there. Herbel's still in there.
Yeah,
Paul
the line's
Stanko,
still the same.
Paul Stanko is in the game for the first time. That
Oh,
I've
no.
seen.
Some of the line's different. Not all of them, but some.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going on then.
We have Colby Bryant checking into the game at the right tackle. Also, well, Daniel Holt's always in there normally. And two receivers will go to the left side. Two to the right. Paul Stanko in the slot to the right side. Chase Barrett still in the game with 1:48 left to go. And Herbel in there as well. Herbel drops back 3 steps. Under pressure, steps up in the pocket, throws down the field, and it is in and out of the hands of Olsen again, I believe. No, that's David Douglas over there on the far sideline. He was right at the goal line. I thought for a moment Douglas was going to be able to haul it in, but it falls incomplete. So 3rd down and 23 with 1:39 to go. And McKinney North is thinking about one thing right now, and it's not Frisco Centennial.
They probably know down what happened on the sidelines to McKinney because at halftime, Teddy was telling us how some of the coaches are getting on the horn trying to figure out what's going on in 9-4A. So they know already.
Herbel drops back 3 steps once again, steps up in the pocket, throws down to the right side this time in triple coverage. He throws down, and it's intercepted by Brandon Harrison at the 2-yard line. He's made a lot of catches tonight for Frisco Centennial. That one probably his biggest one as he intercepts it down at about the 3. He was trying to hit Max Butler and just overthrew him.
Wow.
Not a great decision there by Herbel, as there was a lot of red jerseys around Max Butler, but he threw it down there, and with 1:32 left to go, 29-15, McKinney North leads, trying to just chew out this clock and eat it up so you can just think about the playoffs.
Well, he did face some pressure, but on that play, the thing that impressed I like Chase Barrett, but on that play, he laid down some just a solid block that really saved Herbel from taking a sack, which, considering it was intercepted, might have been okay. But he's one of the better blockers I've seen at the running back position.
First down and 10 for Mosikowski, who rolls in the end zone. He's under pressure, and he throws it out of bounds. He was really about to be sacked in the back of the end zone, and Kenny Alexander was right there as one of the McKinney North Bulldogs leading the charge. 1:24 on the clock.
Well, he started out with a good efficiency, but really struggled in the second half. Right now, only 8 of 20 passing is Mosikowski.
Let's talk to Teddy Saffo down on the sidelines. Teddy, does anybody know about the matchup? Does anybody know that McKinney has already lost?
I cannot really say per se, but I know that one guy has been on the phone trying to get constant updates about what's going on. But I'm sure if they did find out, I don't know if they relayed it to Coach Pratt yet, but they'll soon find out. Back to you guys.
All right, and we'll talk to Teddy Saffo in a moment when he gets down with the players, as there's a swing pass out for Mosikowski. Hits his man, and he rolls out to the 10-yard line. He's going to be tackled by Colton Floyd and Bo Burns. Teddy Saffo, we want to probably talk to Eric Herbel tonight after the game. We want to talk about how excited he is to be going to the playoffs. And for those passionate McKinney North fans that will be out there in years to come, like McKinney Lions fans have right now, soon one day there will be passionate McKinney North fans, and those fans will always think about Eric Herbal and Cameron Eubanks and Max Butler and Chase Barrett and all those guys that made the playoffs for the very first time. And you got to be proud. Here is Mosikowski running up the middle, and he crosses the 20, makes one man miss, and Bo Burns catches him at the 22-yard line along with Kenny Alexander. But you got to think we'd like to hear from Eric Herbal. We'd like to hear from maybe Chase Barrett. One guy I would really like to hear from is James San Miguel. He's the leader on defense. We talked to, I'd interview a lot of the seniors, and every one of them, and I would ask them who the leader is on defense, and every one of them would say James San Miguel.
Yeah, he's been a big factor tonight with 2 sacks. And those came early in the game when, it was not so, easily to guess what the score or what the outcome is going to be. Back when it mattered, he was in there making some plays, and then even now he's still making tackles. If we pick a defensive player of the game, I think he's one of the high candidates for it.
I was having a conversation today with former Bearcat broadcaster Bob Sullins, and we were having the conversation of what exactly is a leader and what makes a leader. Well, a lot of people will say, well, it's a guy who says a lot in the clubhouse. But a leader is a guy that we thought was somebody who comes up in the clutch and actually proves it on the field. Eric Herbal seems to be one of those guys. He doesn't say a whole lot at all. If you talk to Eric Herbal, he's not going to say much. But he talks with his arm. 36 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. And this is Mosikowski. Mosikowski drops back, and it's picked off by Bo Burns at the 45-yard line. Moves it across towards midfield, has the 40, looking for the 35, gets it, now looks for the 30 and knocked out of bounds right at the 30-yard line. And Bo Burns picks up his first interception on the year. And with 21 seconds left to go in the game, McKinney North can just ice this one and just think about the playoffs.
Well, going back to that leader talk, Troy Aikman has been on record as saying sometimes that's not it. Sometimes you just lead by example. You don't have to be a big clubhouse guy who talks and fires up the team. Like, let me tell you, if you're down by 5 points in the fourth quarter and you're going on a 2-minute drive, guys like Troy Aikman who just have the calming influence, they lead by example. They don't have to say anything. You just know they're ready. And I think that's a lot of what Eric Herbal is, just a calming influence. Says, hey, guys, there's nothing we can't do right now. And that's what a leader does.
Eric Herbal showing all the signs of a leader on this McKinney North team, and he's going to lead this team into the playoffs. After he gets this snap, he's going to take a knee, and that's it. McKinney North, your Bulldogs are in the playoffs, and Coach Sean Pratt gets the ice right over his jacket.
Oh, and I missed it.
Yeah, he took the water cooler right over his shoulders, and that's got to be one of the most proud moments in his career. This has got to be the most proud moment after a lot of suffering through hard losses and things like that. This is what you do it for. This is why you strap them on in August to make the playoffs, and it's extra special when it's your first time to ever make the playoffs in a new program and the first time to have a winning record at 7-3 entering the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's just been different is if you look at last year's team and even prior to that, it's been the defensive play. And that's why guys like James San Miguel are so important, and the unheralded guys like Kirsten Williams and the Colton Floyds, and you just go on. You get to look at Zach Plummer, and that basically that defensive line sets the tone, and that's what had been lacking in the past. The secondary is okay, but that defensive line is outstanding. They were constantly in the backfield tonight, harassing Ryan Mosikowski and even Crosby Butler when he was in. The linebacking cores, while not as good as McKinney's, are still really, that's a tough core to compare to, but they're all over the place too making plays. And it's just really good to see the defense come together because the offense has been there and it still is there.
And that's what we've talked about over the past couple of years. Can you imagine putting McKinney's defense with McKinney North's offense?
You're looking at a state caliber team.
You'd be looking at the quarterfinals, semifinals, region.
Yeah.
That's what it takes, and unfortunately that's what happens when you split schools up and things like that, but we can talk about that another day because McKinney North is in the playoffs.
Just look at schools like Odessa, Permian back in their heyday where somehow the district lines always included the better football players in there. Nice to see some schools don't resort to that.
Teddy Sappho, you're down on the field. That's got to be a very happy McKinney North Bulldog crew down there, and I think you're right there on the field. What's going on? What kind of emotion is being shown by this team?
Right now, I mean, they're happy right now. As you can tell, I mean, before I was just standing right, I got a little bit wet because they're throwing some water onto the coaches and everything. But I mean, these kids are excited and they well deserve it. I mean, they played really well this season, and right now, Coach Pratt's just talking to his troops and telling them congratulating them. Right now, they're saying a few hurrahs and having a few rounds of applause and a few laughs right now. It's great down here.
Have they informed the team at all about McKinney Lions, about their situation?
I have a feeling they haven't. Maybe between the coaches, but they haven't told the players. Just trying to keep them focused on the game.
Teddy, who's your player of the game?
Can you please repeat that?
Who's your player of the game? We want to see who your player of the game would be for tonight.
Geez, you know what? I probably would have said for me maybe Aiden Williams for me personally, because he stretched the defense out tonight. Caught a couple long touchdown passes, and basically he's the one who put the points on the board for this team.
Yeah, I think you're heading in the right direction there. Aiden Williams, our True Image Productions Player of the Game. We also why don't you get Aiden Williams? Talk about the 2 touchdowns that he caught, and talk about the one that he missed.
Okay.
Talk about him. Talk about those. Also, try to get Eric Herbal and James San Miguel if you can.
All right, gotcha.
Let's take a quick timeout as the. Teddy is trying to find some of the players to talk to. I'll tell you what, he's probably going to find them here in a minute, so we may just hang on. He's trying to corral Coach Sean Pratt right now. And
look at how aggressive he's being. Way
Teddy.
to go, Teddy. They were trying to walk away from him. I think he jumped on one of their backs.
Teddy's trying to corral Coach
they
Sean
just
Pratt.
dumped Chase Barrett right there.
Oh,
no, they got the coach who was running all wet over there down at the 30.
Ryan Burke got him. Ryan Burke and all these McKinney North players are starting to get really happy right now.
When you're one of the better offensive linemen on the team, you can do that. You can dunk. You can dunk. That's probably his offensive line coach, I bet, because there was 2 other offensive linemen right around the area.
Teddy Sappho is down on the field, and he's talking to Coach Sean Pratt. And now Pratt's going to walk away, so he may not be able to corral Coach Pratt.
Well, can you imagine just how many people are seeking him out right now? Just say, hey, congratulations, you're in the playoffs, way to go, that kind of thing.
Oh, I can imagine.
So Teddy's going to have a hard time finding that window to talk to him.
Teddy, you just talked to him. What did he have to say to you right there?
And now he's actually trying to help me out because I was trying to hunt down Eric Herbal and James San Miguel and Aiden Williams. So he's going to actually aid me in that process. So we'll see if he can run him down for me.
I tell you what, if you can get the head coach to help you, that's doing all right down there. And the McKinney North Bulldogs go down in front of their band and they do the school song. They're extremely excited. They're entering the playoffs for the first time. The McKinney North fans are at full throat on the far sideline. A lot of them are still here, standing up, clapping. The team is heading off in the direction of the dressing room, and some of the players are coming back out on the field, and they're directing them towards Teddy right here. Aiden Williams, Eric Herbal, and James San Miguel. We'll be talking to them momentarily, and Teddy Sappho is he's got James San Miguel right now. Teddy, are you about ready to take this one over? Who do you got down there?
3 of the players, of course, you have the True Image Productions Player of the Game, Aiden Williams, standing next to me. I also have James San Miguel, leader of the defense, and Eric Herbal. And fellas, I just want to ask, we'll answer one by one. How does it feel to be part of the first team, going to the playoffs for McKinney North?
It feels great. I mean, all off season, this is all we were talking about. This is our main goal, and we did good this season. We played hard, and we're there. So.
And Aiden, as for you, of course, we named you a True Image Player of the Game, but that 3rd touchdown.
Well, I thought I had it, but I guess it was just too good to be true. But I'm just glad our team came out and played well. I'm glad we got a win, and I'm glad we're going to playoffs.
And as for you, Mr. Miguel, you leader of this defense. You could turn around and face this way over here. I mean, also, how does it feel to be the leader defense and leading this team into the playoffs as well?
Oh, man, it's a lot of responsibility, but you know what? I'm up for it. This defense, we fly around. We have a great time. Basically, we play as one. We're brothers. And when one brother mess up, I'll let them know it. When they do a good job, I'll let them know it also.
Fellas, thank you very much for your time.
Hey, Teddy.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Teddy, ask Aiden Williams about how much work he did in the offseason with catching the ball from the jugs machines and things like that.
It's coming to me. He's coming to me. It's coming to me.
I mean, we just want to know how much time you spend in the off season catching passes. I mean, you look real sharp tonight.
Well, I spent a lot of time catching passes and a lot of time working with Herbal. And I just want to say on TV, I apologize to Herbal because I just apologize to Herbal.
I think. Thanks a lot, Teddy.
Of course, ovulation over here. Let me get Coach Pratt here in a second. Coach, wow. I mean, first off, let's tell me how it feels. I mean, you being the first coach, you lead teams to the playoffs 4 years. You did it in 4 years. Tell us a little about that.
Well, I mean, I'm just happy for these kids. It's, I think they had a great year, but it's not over, and we're going to focus back in. But I'm very happy. I'm happy for the school. I'm happy for the program, and just couldn't be any more thrilled to be in the playoffs.
Teddy, ask him if he knows about Dallas Hillcrest yet in his next matchup.
Coach, do you happen to be aware that of the team you're probably possibly be facing in the first round of playoffs? Do you know yet?
Well, I'm hearing that it's probably going to be Hillcrest, but I'm not sure.
If so, Hillcrest, how are you going to prepare for that team?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just got done preparing for this team. We'll go. I'll go find out that for sure. I'm not positive on that. And then
tell him it is.
Go swap film and start preparing them just like we do every other team every week.
Well, we have confirmed that you guys officially are going to face Hillcrest in the first round. So.
Okay. Well, we'll go swap film with them in the morning and flip on all the things that got to be worked out, and then we'll have our typical work week as far as preparation goes.
Teddy, ask him if it's confirmed going to be at Standard Stadium.
Coach, is it going to be confirmed that it's going to be at Standard Stadium? Does you know?
Well, that's yes, it looks like it, but there's still a possibility of Creekview. We got to know what Creekview does because they got that's their home stadium. But if they go to a neutral site, then yes, that's where it'll be.
All right, thanks,
Coach. Thank you for your time and congratulations on a wonderful season.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy Sappho, and thanks, head coach Sean Pratt. He has got to be the happiest man in North Texas right now. Another happy man would be either Bob Brown or Drew Young up in Sherman. We want to find out that final score there. We'll try to have that one when we come back. Right here, 29-15, McKinney North wins over Frisco Centennial. They are in the playoffs. They will face Dallas Hillcrest next week. McKinney lost to Lake Dallas 24-14, I believe, was the final score there. McKinney is eliminated from the playoffs. Lake Dallas, by virtue of their win over McKinney and by Justin Northwest's win over Frisco, moves Lake Dallas into that third spot. We're going to take a quick timeout and be back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM.